a new custom glass. That thing fits nice, huh?
Yeah.
Sweat-proof, shines. It looks crazy.
I can work out with it.
Yeah. That's the best one. That's the one that when you wore, all those girls were yelling at you at Country Club. We went to Country Club. He was wearing that. Everybody thought he was 50 Cent.
You're a buck.
Boss, dude. Boss off the top ropes. Listen, we're jumping right into this. I'm Bear DeGidio. I'm here with the #1 greatest co-host of all time, one of the greatest UFC fighters ever to do it. You already know what it is, Rampage Jackson. And we're here with a legend, one of the highly most requested guests. The Jackson podcast just hit 77,000 subscribers. We just dropped our brand new Cuban 8mm. It's one of the best-selling men's chains with our brand new class, sweat-proof, real gold, real silver, made in Italy. Some of the best chains in the world. And everybody was saying, Rampage Bear, we want to see one person. We want to hear from him. We want him live and direct. It's the legend himself, Bas Rutten.
Man,
I make the sound from the audience. You know,
I was so happy when you said you was gonna get Boston. I didn't know how you gonna, because he lives out of California now.
Yeah, we moved to Texas. Yeah.
I mean, I was bothering him and I was texting him 24/7, 7 days a week, and he actually wrote me a message. He says, Bear, I'm going to come on the show. I respect Rampage. I haven't seen him since the wedding. My wife hasn't seen him since the wedding. But I got to tell you something, Bear. When you text me, moving forward, you're only allowed to send one message at a time. And when I respond, then you can respond back. But I don't respond to someone that sends me 20 messages in a row. And if you do that, I'm going to be forced to block your number. I said, boss, respectfully, my bad.
No, it's going to say, hey, boss, click, send. How you doing? Send. Hey, there's a question for you. Send. I go, bing, bing, bing. I go, do it. Put it in one freaking message. What's the reason? Yeah, but it's the way we talk. No. When I talk to you, you wait for an answer, and then you speak again. That's right. I'm not saying, no, I'm talking. No, it's not. Oh, wait, I stopped. No, oh, wait, I stopped. That's not what it looks like. You're a freaking complete psychopath.
What a legend. What a legend.
It keeps it real.
Honestly,
I couldn't be more honored to have you here. All joking aside, this podcast is doing what we try, and from what we started was we want to serve the MMA and the combat sports community, entertainment, music, art, fashion, bring it all in together. And you being on here just like legitimizes us. I know we've had so many legends on the show, but you being on here, it really means a lot to us. So
wow, because if you look at the lineup that you guys already had, that's big, right? I mean, you had everybody. Yeah. I mean, freaking Hoysa, you name it.
Yeah.
Lyoto was just watching Lyoto. What a guy that is, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, he works for Karate Combat too, and he jumps in. Sometimes it's Stephen Wonderboy, then it's GSP, and then him. And every time when you're with him, you get relaxed. He's so calm. My wife also, she goes, my God, he's so calm. I go, yeah. He's like Amir, my buddy Amir, the Jewish, the SEAL.
Yeah, I remember.
He's also, you talk to him and you get relaxed. I like people like that.
No, it's, and honestly, having the legends here and watching you guys, you know, being able to conversate, me being on a fly on the wall, jumping in when I can, has been exciting too, to hear these stories. I want to jump into something off the break though. I got some exclusive news this morning.
Yes.
There's a very big movie coming out starring The Rock, okay? And it's a movie about Mark Kerr. And we heard that you are in the movie. Is this true?
It's that's true, because yesterday when we were eating, this was hilarious because I didn't know if I could say it or not. And they go, who's going to play Bas? Bas, who's going to play you? And he changed Statham, there were Tom Hardy, all these names going out. I go, whoa, that's good. I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, Statham's going to have to lose his English accent then, because I'm still Dutch. But I couldn't say anything. So this morning I verified, and Kerr called me back and he said, no, it's a 100% deal. So yeah, I'm going to play myself in the Kerr movie.
Wow, that's cool, great. That's great.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, I bumped into Kerr not too long ago in Arizona, and he told me he was finally doing that. Is it the Smashing Machine? Or?
It's like the Smashing Machine is going to be his whole life. It's not. It's about Kerr. Yeah. So it's not about the trainer, but there's a big part, of course, for me, because I brought him up into striking. He's just started. I met him at the Vale Tudo World Championships in Brazil. When I saw him, his whole knuckle was open from a tooth that he hit, because it's bare knuckle there, right? Anything goes. And he was talking about he needed a striking coach, and if I was interested in training him. And then we started training, and then Pride came. Yeah, and then he became the superstar there.
I had no idea you was training.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot going on, I think, right now in the MMA world with how people are really starting to follow fighters and the fight history and the combat sports history. I feel like MMA's coming to one of these pinnacles it's never seen before. It's reaching some of the biggest mainstream stars, mainstream celebrities, and look at what's happening with boxing and combat wrestling, and you have karate combat and UFC. It's like, I feel like MMA is at an all-time high right now.
It is, and I think they always ask me, don't you like the rules, the new rules? I go, I love everything, the weight classes. I mean, I always talk about my very first fight. There was no weigh-ins, which I thought it was weird, right? I go, oh, well, he's probably my weight. I go, wait a minute, did we talk about a weight? Oh, well, I'll see it on the day of the fight. So this tall guy walks in the day of the fight. He says, hey, Mr. Rutten, how you doing? I said, nice. So you're the promoter. He goes, no, I'm fighting you. I go, fighting me? I said, what's your weight? He was like 33 pounds heavier, right? I go, okay. And I look at my manager, and then the promoter walked in. So you're the promoter? Yeah. I go, is he not too heavy? He goes, no. Everybody fights everybody. There's no weight class. I go, okay, great. So I'm acting, right? I said, so, before you go, how many rounds are we fighting? He goes, 1. I go, great. How many minutes? He goes, 30.
You didn't know none of this before you.
No. And I go like, great. Like a friend of mine was looking at my record and he said, dude, you're a freaking animal. You beat everybody in the first round. I go, yeah, 30-minute rounds. Oh, this looks really good though.
It's the scheduling of like combat sports right now, because of like all the different rule sets, I feel is like really unique at a time too, because you have all these like point combat karate, and then you have regular jiu-jitsu, and then point jiu-jitsu. Like everything's kind of developing on its own. A lot of people were asking, we asked people what they wanted to hear from you, and a lot of people wanted to know your relationship with Kerr. How did you start like with the actual physical training? Like what technique, what did he really need that he came to you?
Footwork, it's with everybody. If you watch the biggest fighters in the world, there's a lot of these guys don't have correct footwork. And with the footwork, I don't mean the Ali shuffle. With footwork, I mean you open, you close, you open, you close. And a lot of guys do this with their feet. They close first and then they open. This is a very dangerous situation. If you got a good kickboxer in front of you, that's the moment you can get low kick. This is no movement. You almost cannot do anything. So that by itself, we started with that. And then, of course, he's got natural power. I mean, the guy's a beast. His knee, we already knew, because in the UFC knocked out a guy with that, the first knee on the side, that was the end of the fight. So that's it. Just to start with striking and knees. I always like to keep it simple with guys like that. And once he likes the kick and he wants to kick and I see he can do it, I'll do it. But otherwise, if it's going to look horrible, I'm not even going to focus on that.
Did you show him, you teach him the liver shot?
Oh, for sure. Of course, we go for the liver. The liver shot is a thing, though, you need to be relaxed. Your whole head needs to be in it. Like my very first fight, my very first 6 fights, it's chaos. You like a Thai boxer, you can hold this, he was this great striker. I go, dude, I was just strong and powerful, but I was just smashing people. The reason that I had these big R's on my hand in Japan, it was standing for rustig. Coincidentally, relax starts with the same letter. Because I knew that if in Holland, I'm a hothead. So if I'm Thai boxing, I'm nice and relaxed, like boom, and then I would just knock him out. But if I fight a good guy, that could be a problem. There's no way I can do this for 2 or 3 rounds. So now with a 30-minute fight in front of you, I go, dude, if I'm going to lose my cool, I can put him away the first 1.5 minutes. I got 28.5 more minutes to go. That's going to be a problem. So then that's where the whole fighting came together for me. Suddenly, I became the fighter that I'm in the gym. A lot of time, all these people, they think that because they can do well in the gym, they believe they can be a fighter, but it's not, as well as I do, because doing it under pressure, that's a whole different animal.
A whole different ball.
Because we have guys who literally work circles around the world champions in the training, but you put them under pressure, they can't pull it out for some reason. It's really weird. You need to get used to that. Some of them had too much pressure. They can never learn it. But that's the trick. And that's when I became, in Japan, the fighter that I was in the gym. And that's it.
That's crazy.
Was it hard for you to fight Pancrase with the open palms?
No, I was already hitting it back like that because it was a bouncer. And I saw my buddies breaking their hands. And I go, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to palm strike him. And I would hit with the bone, and I would just smack him behind the ear, so you get that equilibrium effect. And I go, man, this just works way better. And then if you really think about it, even in boxing and in kickboxing, if this is my opponent, if I give him a hook cross, that's a stupid combination. I don't have room, I don't have space for my cross. If it's a palm strike, I got more space. So why not make it a big palm strike, which is super effective, especially behind the ear. But now you have a long cross, which can carry a lot of space, cover a lot of space, and therefore get more power in it.
I didn't even think about that. It'd be different techniques when you open up the palms. I thought, because my second amateur fight was open palms here in Huntington Beach, and I found it difficult. But I didn't know anything about it.
I was hitting it back like that. So when I came to Japan, and then the guy was 6'4", the first opponent. So that was a palm strike waiting to happen under his jaw, right? That was the first technique I threw. Right high kick, And then I load up the same, because it's almost the same movement, a cross and a high kick. So he expects another kick and then switch it to a cross. And that's when he went down for the first time. And there you had 8 counts. So then he got up and I hit him hard. I mean, I felt it. You know, I go, okay, we got to turn it up now. So then I punch to the head, hands broke up, gave him a liver kick. And then while he went down, I kneed him in the head. But it was very scary because he spent 2 days in the hospital. He was gone for 2 days.
The big tall guy you talking about at first?
Oh, yeah, wow. He would stand. He would like literally 3-4 minutes on the ground, like completely no movement. He's on the ground with the eyes open. There's no movement, and I'm freaking out now. You know, I don't want that. This guy was really nice to me, and then he got up finally, and he takes 2 steps, boom, crushes again, and then it happened one more time, and then they got the ambulance and they got him off.
Did he ever fight again after that?
He fought. Like actually, my second fight. The first punch, so with the palm strike, you can break your hand, apparently. The first punch I gave him broke my hand. That fight, so the first time I fought, it was 43 seconds. The second one was 27 minutes. Yeah, I submitted him 5 times. There were these crazy rules that they had in Japan.
Where they can grab the ropes.
Grab the ropes. Yeah. But that's what, I mean, we were talking about it yesterday. I truly believe that was the reason Pancrase was so good, because we have like 7 UFC champions in Pancrase in that small organization. Because if I come to you and I get you in a submission, you grab the rope, we restart again, now you fight your second fight. Like I have 14 submission victories on paper, but I have 43 submissions. You see, so you have way more ring time. And I think because we have way more ring time and every time we start back on the feet, that made us much more comfortable in the fight. So that's when we went to the UFC. Hey, as long as you make sure that you do not grab the rope, in my mind, I say, I don't want to grab the rope, because in my mind, in a real fight, I would lose. And as long as you play it like that and you don't do it, you know, I was okay with that.
You never grabbed it?
I did in the beginning because I had no... Dude, I have somebody in my guard. This is how I hold him. You know, I didn't know anything about
you didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu back
Nothing.
then?
I trained on the back for 9 months. The first 9 months, I did two times a day, 12 rounds on the back. That was my workout. You know, and then I would spar with my kickboxing students. But because I only hit the back, I would like spot, boom, poof, down. I go, oh, I'm sorry. You know, so that doesn't go over well. People don't really like to get knocked out. It was crazy, yeah. And then once I started, after my 3rd loss, that was against Ken, that's when I got really mad at myself, because it was a loss by submission again. And that really got to me. And I said, I need to find one guy. And I found one guy, Leon Van Dyke. He was 19 years old at the time. Very powerful guy. I mean, 125 kilos, he do arm curls. Like I would have an arm bar on him, he would curl out. Yeah. Freaking strong. But also technical, picked up fast. And that was it. I never lost a fight anymore after that. As soon as I made that decision, I actually won my next 8 fights by submission. One with submission control and the rest by all 7 finishes. So that was after my last loss. Just started going 3 months crazy, 2-3 times a day, only. And I did 2 or 3 times a week, I did Thai pads just for stamina. Sparring, not even, only ground. And then I just completely changed. Now I have actually more submission victories than I have knockouts. So I thought, hey, it's kind of easier. Let's do that.
It hurts less, huh?
Yeah.
I thought he was already, knew jiu-jitsu when he went there, because I came to watch Pancrase later. I didn't know anything about it at first. Even when I fought Sakuraba, I didn't know anything. That was my first time even hearing about Pride and stuff like that. I didn't know anything about the fighting over in Japan. Yeah. Then I had to go back and watch all the stuff.
It was nice, man. It's an organization I miss a lot. And I guarantee you missed it there, you know, and the camaraderie among each other, the breakfasts that we have there over at the Tokyo Hilton, you know, I mean, they're so insane, so good. Yeah. Everybody's there cracking jokes, because from America, you wake up early, you know, because of the jet lag. Everybody's hungry. And then you go, that breakfast, remember?
It was the best in Japan.
Right? I told you yesterday, right? That's every fighter will say that. It's amazing. Any juice, you want everything fresh.
Yeah.
He said, yo, you got to ask Rampage about the breakfast. Oh, yeah. Because I've heard some legendary stories. One thing, before I jump into this Japanese story that I heard about you guys and these Japanese gangs, I heard a story about I heard a story about you, but I won't say it on camera.
No, say it.
I can't.
No, we can edit it out if we don't like it.
All right, we will. But before we jump into that, I did hear a story that you basically lined up every bully, whoever messed with you when you were in high school or when you were a kid. Is that how you got your start in fighting? I just want to know if that's true.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is true. I did make that list. After I knocked out the first guy, I was the biggest bully in my school. But the problem was he broke his nose in the process. So the police showed up. And so when I came home, and my mom and dad took me 2 years to beg them to do martial arts. Then finally, after 2 years, because they thought it was violence, okay, we'll do it. And then the neighbor girl, she was really pretty, and she was dating the cool guy in town. Xavier was his name. And he said, I'll take him under my wing. Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Rutten, I'll take care of it. So I was training with the adults. And then in months, I started beating the adults, So and then I overheard these guys talk about me in the dressing room, so I got more confident. And then I got into a street fight with Chucky, that was his name. I was the leper in school. I had a horrible skin disease, so they called me the leper. Hey, leper! They were on their bikes, and I shouted something back this time. And they all started laughing, and I looked, and sure enough, they stopped. They started chasing me. I said, this is it. And so I put my bike on the stand, on the sidewalk, and they surrounded me with their bikes. And then he came over and he go, want to hit me, leper? I go, boff, down. That was it. I go, man, this is easy, And then, but the police came, of course, they pulled me off of martial arts. But now I had the bug. Now I start slipping into boxing classes here and there, as a new student. And, start watching tapes from Bruce Lee, old cassettes. And I was in the library, books, pictures, and, imitating him. And that was it. And I made a list from all the guys that have bullied me in the past. And I start scratching out those names. Yeah. And I told him yesterday, and there was one guy who goes, hey, but please, boss, I don't remember. I go, I do. Donk.
Yeah, you don't remember.
Cause and effect, guys. Cause and effect. You do something, you gotta do it. Because now horrible nowadays. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, people are getting bullied nowadays, and there's no repercussions. So then they go to school and they cause chaos.
But the bullying is different these days.
Why?
Because now
it's online.
Yeah, people make fun of you or talk about you, or say something you weren't in your post that's bullying. Back in the days, like bullies used to kick people's ass.
Do words piss you off?
No.
Then why you always get mad at Shannon Briggs?
Because he just got a big mouth.
See, it does affect you.
Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't call it bullying though. I don't call that bullying.
What do you call it then?
I just call it making fun of me. It's not bullying.
But you get pissed. You call me at 4 a.m. We're gonna kill this guy. You hate it. You seen the videos he does? He put Rampage on this girl doing the luau. What do you call that? The Hawaiian dance.
He put my face on fat black girls. Who does that?
It's funny.
That's fucked up.
Bro, honestly, yeah. I mean, it's to a certain extent it gets crazy, but it is funny. Come on.
Yeah, but it's not bullying though. Bullying is when people used to hurt you bodily harm back in the day.
So speaking of bullying, I've heard a lot of amazing stories of you guys together, okay? And I don't know what we can say or can't say because I don't want to get no one in trouble.
Well, we didn't do nothing too bad where we can go to jail.
We were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you were always the voice of reason, actually.
What?
Boss, you got to break down this Japanese story. You guys in these Japanese neighborhoods running around in Japan.
We were in Roppongi, and it was with Kevin Randleman. It was with Ryan Gracie. Mauro was there, poor Mauro. You were there at the beginning, and then I was there. And we wanted to smoke some weed, which is a felony in Japan. So we went up to these big bouncers. I said, hey, man, can we get some weed? So I give him money, but I'm grabbing it, and I'm walking away, and I see they gave me way too less. So I go, whoa. I said, dude, come on. We need more. No, that is it. I said, that's not it. You're going to have a problem because this is rip-off. I understand you make it more expensive, but this is completely wrong. So he says, no, we cannot do it. I said, I tell you what. In 15 minutes, we come back, make up your mind, and then we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. So we're going somewhere. We're standing, and I think it's with all mailboxes or something. And I believe you still were there. And Ryan started jumping around. Freaking Randleman is leaping from the ground, and they're hitting things. And and Mauro's getting nervous, and he says, I'm going. Because he knew immediately this was going to go wrong. So then finally, and then Ryan says to me, yeah, we're going to do this. And I said, Ryan, be quiet. Whoa, you told me to shut up. I go, dude, relax. We're not fighting each other. Let's go back to these guys. So we go back to these guys. And I'm walking over. And while we're walking over, we see them look over our shoulders. So we look over our shoulders, and another 2 big guys in the same uniforms are behind us. But we turn around, and these guys do this. And they turn around, they recognize us. So they look, and they're gone, right? And then I walk to the guy, and the guy has a puzzled look on his face, and his phone goes. I go, answer your phone. I say, it's them telling you what you're dealing with here. We got so much drugs for free. We started handing out people, here, take some weed. It was hilarious. But he was the smart man. He said, I'm gone.
See, look, they was trying to smoke some weed. I was trying to smoke some Japanese bitches. Hey, after my fights, I always had something lined up over there, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100.
Yeah.
Living here in Orange County, I had no bitches here.
Yeah.
So the only time I got pussy when I went to
You flew around the world to get girls.
I was there fighting.
Yeah, while you're there,
Yeah,
while in Rome, while in Tokyo.
Did you ever live there too?
No, I never
you live
lived
there?
No, but we spent so much time there. I went like over 140 times to Japan or something. I was counting in my freaking passport because I had to, when I became a citizen, I had to count how many times I went out of the country. And then suddenly I look at my wife and go, this is crazy. Did you have my old passport? And I had always like 128 pages instead of 64 because I travel so much.
Yeah.
And then I started counting. I go, this is insane. I mean, if you put them all together as a week, you've been there. I've been there for 3 years straight. That's how much we went. But especially when the shows that you had Pride and the Shogun. What was the other one?
Shudo?
No, that was I'll pop up in a bit. But that was every month. Now we had every month a show. You know, and that was a lot. And then I had my fighters who fought there, and I go, and still in Pancrase, Genki Sudo, that was my guy. You know, I started training. I put him in mixed martial arts. So now I got to go with these fighters also. And then you're doing the commentating. I mean, you're racking up some miles. It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember my first time even acting was with Bas.
No way.
Yeah.
Where?
With Pride. They wanted to do some promo.
So promos, yeah.
I watch it and now I just like cringe every time I watch it.
But it's funny, you know, he's the first guy in the world ever, when you walk in this dressing room before a fight, is eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
God, dude. Stop.
Stole your chicken,
He
remember?
stole my chicken.
We made that.
Yeah.
It's
They went viral.
Why would you eat Kentucky Fried Chicken before a fight?
Man, I was starving. Yeah. Come on, I'm a black guy. What the fuck? I'm still black if I'm in Japan.
Boss, be honest. You walk into a fighter's room before the fight and you see him in the corner eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. What goes through your mind?
Yeah, I told him. I said, but that's when I took the bucket away. I said, don't eat this crap. This is bad. You know, you want to top it? Pretty bad. Mark Kerr. He would stand while he's waiting in the hallway to go up, and he has a Ziploc bag full with M&M's, butterscotch, and he's like this. I go, dude, stop eating that. And now it makes me feel good. I go, it's so bad for you
your fight,
to perform on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat sweets, but I would eat chicken. I was starving because I didn't like the Japanese. You know what they do in Japan? They give you these, what you call it, bento boxes?
The bento boxes, yeah.
It's all Japanese food. I'm a very picky eater. I didn't like that shit. It's like seaweed, fucking.
He had his corner go out of the place and get some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I was starving because we get there hours before the fight.
But the good part is from Japan, the Kentucky Fried Chicken there is like it is on the picture.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like here in America, you grab it and the skin falls off and all that crap. No, it's disgusting. There, it's really, like if you order a hamburger there, it's like on the picture.
Yeah.
It's perfectly made.
Yeah.
Everything is beautiful. So they spent some time on it.
You haven't went there yet?
No, I did. I stayed like 2 weeks in Shibuya.
In Shibuya?
Oh, nice.
I had the time of my life.
I don't believe it. Who stays 2 weeks in Shibuya?
I was there. I was
the crossroads there, right?
Yeah.
You was there for 2 weeks in Shibuya?
Yeah.
What you was filming? Tokyo Drift?
I was looking
to the moon in the car.
I was looking for that girl that you used to be with. I was seeing her. She was still there.
What, the girl that sucked on my ear, that gave me the ear job?
Yeah, the ear job girl.
I've been looking for her myself.
Yeah, I went to that place in Shibuya called the Candy Stripper Land. Remember that place? Yeah, you don't know about Shibuya.
I didn't go no strip
Look
clubs.
at that's Shibuya. See,
The only one in Roppongi was One Eye Jack, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I only went there one time. I didn't like the strip clubs in Japan.
I'm not a strip club guy anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a strip club guy, but not in Japan.
In the past was alcohol, you know, and they don't sell freaking alcohol in a strip club. I go, why would I be here?
Right.
So I had this owner one time came to me and he says, he woke me up. I'm sleeping in the back on the couch, and he says, "Boss, this is like the third time you're here. You know, you can't do this. It looks like you're bored." I go, "Dude, I am bored. I just want to go to sleep. It's my buddies who want to be here, and I just go with them. But I never felt like throwing money and looking. I don't need to see all that.
It's a waste of money.
It's a weird thing. Yeah,
You love doing it.
Listen, I like going to Listen, it is a waste of money. It is a waste of money. Over my years, I've wasted a lot of money in strip clubs, but it's fun when you go with girls. But then the girls waste your money. The girls have fun, but it'd be fun after the end of the night. The girls that you take with you, if you smash them, then I guess that's worth it. But I didn't like the strip clubs in Japan.
No, that's the ice cream store in Japan. I stayed there for a week because I was there for a fashion show week thing. And I was like there looking at, they have a bunch of really cool districts. So when you go to Japan, you have like the anime district and the cartoon kind of, like there's all those little districts. So
Akihabara, the electric town.
He loves that robot bar. I heard about the story about you and the robot. But so no, is that fake?
That's fake. I don't know.
Maybe it's a rumor. I saw it on Reddit. But so I went there and there was like a crazy fashion show week thing, and I went and hung out for a week. It was cool. It was fun. I really like the culture, how respectful they are. To be honest, they're very respectful.
Every fighter had it. They lose their wallet. Oh, I left it there. And they're freaking out. They go, when was it? 2 hours ago? It's there. So what do you mean? I said, don't worry. If it's stolen, it's by a foreigner. It will never be stolen by
Japanese,
and you walk back, and it's exactly at the spots where you came.
You better hope no foreigners are there.
Nothing. Freaking Mauro Ranallo lost his notes for the very first show, and he's freaking out because he lost all his notes at the airport in Narita. And he doesn't know what to do, and he's going crazy, and I go, dude, you got to calm down. And suddenly there's a knock on the door. I don't know even how this is possible, and somebody came to bring his notes, who found it at the airport, the Narita airport, took a 2.5-hour drive or whatever it took, and he gave it. I don't even know how we knew it was him. Probably his name was somewhere on it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask for it.
I lost my passport on one of those limousine bus.
Yeah.
One of a couple of first times I've been there. And I got my passport back. In America, you never would have got that passport.
No. They sell it.
Yeah. And we sold that real quick. At what point,
or your face is going to be on a fat chick's body.
Hey, now that you're officially fighting Shannon Briggs, the contract just got signed 2 days ago. You better bring your A game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Better
bring your.
I'm already training. But my training camp starts April 1st. But I'm already training to get my weight down because I want to look good.
Your training camp starts April 1st.
And I'm fighting June 1st.
Oh, June. Okay. Yeah, but it's good to just go 70%.
Yeah.
Start, because all the stuff that hasn't worked out for a long time, we need, it needs to feel it's getting back into action.
Yeah.
Get good food, man. No freaking Kentucky Fried. No, but
I haven't eaten that in a long time.
The last time I fought, I was 42. That was in 2006. I didn't compete for 7 years. And I felt like I was just fought last week. I felt so good, my body, and it was the first time I had a dietitian, Ryan Parson. He told me what to eat and what not to eat. Dude, I felt like $1 million, and that's the moment I started changing my diet. I go, man, it's a game changer. I had never an idea. I would eat pizza and fight,
Really?
Drink beer, do this, that was just us at the time.
Yeah.
But now I realize, wow, imagine if you would have done clean, how you could even be better.
So you took 7 years off, and then you fought again at 42?
Yeah, and I didn't train for 3.5. But and it was with the same shoe, the WFA. You were the main event. I was the co-main.
That's right.
Yep,
I remember that.
Matt Lipland. Yeah,
yeah.
And I was going to fight Chemo.
Yeah,
but he got caught for something. Yeah, for PEDs.
Oh, that was right.
And then I fought that guy.
You fought a Warpath.
Yeah,
that was you fucked that guy up. I remember.
He was a big head. I remember Fry called me. He said, "Bro, he's got a hard head, man. I just fought him." He actually lost to him this fight before.
Fry lost to him?
Yeah, because he emptied himself on his head. Mm-hmm. So I said, because I had a rip out. I was training at Temecula with the wrestlers, and I threw somebody, which I'm not a wrestler. I shouldn't have done it. In the midair, rip out. So I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. I couldn't hit it back. I could only hit the air. And I go, oh my God, this is going to be a problem, But my cross, I'll try a few crosses. And if it doesn't work, I'll go for low kicks. If that doesn't work, I'll take him down and submit him. That was the game plan. So I hit him, and the first punch, and a push off on my back. So I felt the impact. Bang! And he goes, man, you're fast, he says. I go, thanks, bud. And then we continue again. I go, bomb, and hit again. I goes, and you hit hard. I go, well, apparently not hard enough. He's still standing. So we had a little bit of fun. And then I go, low kicks. So those 4 low kicks. And then he got out.
That was a good fight. Warpath, I feel like when he fought Don, I feel like he definitely had like something in him where he's like, I'm going to kill this guy. Because he just kept getting hit.
The guy he's a super tough guy. Listen, I spent so much money on rehabbing, but I have all the injuries that I thought were gone. Uh-huh. That's why that made me stop fighting in the first place. All came back and some. So I spent lots of money, like $30,000 just on, like I would train, and then I had to right away therapy, and I would train therapy, like constantly. I was constantly there. So I spent a lot of money, and then suddenly the fight is gone. So there's no money. I go, oh my God. And then and all the fighters who said, oh, I'll fight him if he drops out, none of them wanted to take the fight. Suddenly when it's presented, they say, oh, I want $2 million. Yeah, come on. That means you don't want to fight, right? I mean, you're pricing yourself all the way out.
Right.
And then he stepped up. And I told him, I said, man, I really appreciate that because that was $225,000 for me. That was the biggest payday I ever had because my biggest payday was at the UFC 55, which was an 8-man tournament with 60. So for me to come over and to get for a single fight 55 was considered good money at that time. Now it's nothing, but I mean,
there was good money
at the time. It was really good time.
I made 200 that fight.
Yeah,
that was good money for me to fight Matt Linden.
Really?
That was the most. That
Did
was
it hurt a little bit when I said 225?
Yeah, it hurt a little bit. It hurt a little bit because I'm gonna tell you why it hurt.
Boss up the top rope.
Yeah, they hit me. I'm gonna tell you why it hurt because Jeremy Lappin
told you.
No,
he
didn't. I never knew till right now because he was my manager at first. He stopped managing me to be the promoter of that fight, right?
Yeah.
And he knew how much I make. So in Pride, my biggest purse was $100,000 when I did K1. Cause you remember Pride was ripping me off.
Yeah.
But they paid me $100,000 to go over and fight K1. So he doubled my purse.
Okay.
So he made it sound like I was the highest paid guy on the damn card.
And you weren't. You know who was? This guy.
But I'm gonna tell you what they did though. What helped me out later though. They gave me a crazy pay-per-view deal. Cause they knew they wasn't gonna do pay-per-views. And then Dana White, the UFC, they bought my contract.
Oh, okay.
So when I fought Chuck, they had to give me they gave me, I made.
Oh, you made a good money.
I made like millions.
Oh, dude, that is so freaking awesome.
Just off the pay-per-view.
I heard a little bit.
And then
not really, because if somebody loves it, I owe.
I made about $7 million.
Whoa!
Off the Chuck Liddell
I've never
fight.
heard that number. Hold on.
This is my first time.
Hold on.
My first time ever saying it.
million.
I've never heard that.
My first time even saying it. My first time even telling anybody.
Wow. That's got to be one of the highest.
Over the pay-per-view.
That's got to be one of the highest.
Back in 2007. But then what they did?
$7 million off Chuck Liddell.
Off pay-per-view.
Boss, does that hurt a little bit more now?
No, if somebody else, yes, but him, anything.
But then they figured out that my pay-per-view numbers was crazy. So my next fight when I fought Dan Henderson was on TV. They didn't want to give me pay-per-view.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's stupid because they still make the money in pay-per-views. They still make money.
For you to make that,
they just
that
don't give you. Oh, that sucks.
Then I don't know what
crazy.
happened with either my manager at the time was negligent or got paid off, but somehow my pay-per-view numbers got changed without me knowing.
Wow.
So
Bro, that is insane money. I've never heard that number.
Yeah, I never
at
talked
that time.
But for you to get that money, that means they made a fortune. Why would they not just keep using
That's what I'm
you
saying.
and building pay-per-views? Makes no sense to me.
They still make 70 or whatever.
Yeah.
It is more. So
if I
Bro.
made, think about it, if I made $7 million off that,
God knows what they make.
Bro,
Just think about it.
unreal.
2007, that was a lot of money.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Well,
so-
we were talking about this last night at dinner. You were one of the original characters of mixed martial arts and fighting worldwide, and then you came into the fold and you took it as a character to a whole level with the chain. But you said you saw him come out in a cage or something in Japan, or you saw him.
No, what they do, they because you had that problem, right? So they locked him up in Orange County in the jail here. So then
LAX. Yeah.
LAX. So they came over to fly to make pictures to release him from jail. They made, and then on the freaking Tokyo Post, he was on the cover. The opponent from freaking Hori Sakuraba is there, and you just came out of jail with the chain. You know, that was a perfect storytelling, and that's why it worked so well. I remember that fight. You know, they let you lose 26 pounds or something ridiculous, right?
Yeah, because that's back when Pride didn't have a weight class.
In one day, right?
Yeah.
In one day, they let him lose that.
Oh my God. That's gotta be so unhealthy.
You didn't know that?
No, I just didn't think it was that much in one day.
It was the most insane thing ever. And then the performance he put on. Well, I remember Steven Waters and I, we put you to the side at the end of the fight. And I said, dude, you're going to be a rock star here. If you keep your line straight, man, if you keep your head straight, you're going to be gigantic here. And thankfully you did. Yeah. And then all these freaking Arona slams and everything started coming. Man, what a time that was.
Yeah,
right?
that was a good time. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I remember that you telling me, and I think it was either you or Steve, somebody saved me a couple times too, because we used to have those after parties right after the fight, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, Yakuza," he had this crazy head on, and I was trying to grab his head. I think it was Bas or somebody said, "Don't touch his head."
Yeah. No, you know what a funny story? So the claw, the iron claw, you saw the movie? Well, the father is my friend Holt. You know Holt as well, Holt McKellar.
Yeah.
So, and he was almost up for an Oscar for that one. But we're in the elevator, we're messed up, and the elevator closes, and Saki Kabara comes in. And he stands there, and Holt goes like this, right? He goes, "Hey, that's a nice shirt." He doesn't know who he is. And there, he does this. like he pulls it like, and I'm like looking at Sakakibara. I go like this, and he goes like, "It's okay," you know. And then the elevator opens, and he moves out and closes. I go, "Dude, that was Sakakibara." He goes, "Oh, shit, am I gonna get killed now?" Dude, he just pulled his whole shirt out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh."
Sakakibara was cool about it?
Yeah, he was completely cool about it. He looked at me and goes, "Don't worry about it. It's all good."
Wow.
So I go, "Yeah."
And for the audience who doesn't know who that is like I would say the boss of all bosses over there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He's not with that.
I don't think so.
No,
but he's around it.
They're pretty much always, I guess, they're
Yeah,
always
yeah.
involved. I don't know how that exactly
He was for
works
sure
there.
just the man, though. Like,
Yeah.
no one's messing with him.
Honestly, he had to be because I don't know if we're gonna edit this part out, but you remember the first president, what happened to him?
Yeah.
And then Sakakibara, nothing ever happened to him. So
Yeah.
You knew that guy, right?
Yeah, I knew that guy.
I don't remember him that well.
I don't know. He was very introvert person, very
Quiet,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. So,
But the
yeah.
thing is you guys were always very respectful to everybody during those Pride days, and I feel like the community and culture like really rallied behind you guys.
Well, man, people love Boss over there. I
Yeah.
remember because I don't know how long it's been since he hadn't been fighting, but the Japanese fans still loved him. They still respect him. He's still a legendary, but he was like a big time legendary. So all the fighters, we looked up to Boss, and he was cool. He used to hang out. He used to hang out with us. Like back then, I was a nobody. We hanging out and stuff. And one night we go out drinking. And the next morning we get, because in Japan the party don't stop.
Yeah.
we get back to the hotel. Now we hungry. Order breakfast.
That was so crazy. A cool thing that I saw from him one time. No, this is so funny. We want to first tell that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're with a bunch of pro wrestlers also. We're going to who are pro wrestling, but also fighting in Pride Fighting Championships. We go to the hotel. Okay. Listen, guys, I was crazy, okay? At the time, I was always freaking drunk. That's a long time ago, but I'm just going to say it. So don't judge, please, right? Matthew 7, 1 and 2. Don't judge. So I'm so loaded up and drunk, and we're eating. And while we're eating, I have to go to the restroom, but I just went to the restroom, and I didn't want to go again, so I figured to just do it under the table. So this is so bad. Then this guy walks in and he's dying. The guy walks in and they think it's water, right?
Because it's clear because he's drunk. It's beer or whatever.
So he cleaned it up with a towel, and then this Japanese girl walks over, and I'm pretty sure she said, "That's piss," right? Because she's like,
We died.
For us, he goes like, "Watch her! Look at him!" He was freaking out. So, but then this thing happens, right? So I see I'm too far now. I need to go to sleep. He says also, because everybody wants to party, he also goes to sleep. So we're the only two from the group who are gone. Next day, first of all, I hear a lot of sound on the hallway, and I go, "What's going on?"
Huh?
Alarms, and the whole hallway was white with the fire extinguisher. There were holes in the wall. I mean, the freaking thing was trashed, right? The whole thing. Telephone goes. The blame, the black guy and the white guy from Holland, they thought it was us. I go, I swear to God. I quit it. I say, he was asleep. I know 100% he was asleep because I was asleep. And they had no way. They never believed it. And they came over, and these pro wrestlers and all these other people, they really did a thing to the hotel. And I remember...
It was my corner man that did the shit too.
Oh, yeah. And then we started, they said we have to say who it was. And we go like, listen, we're all together, right? Even though we were not there. What's the bill? We all split it. I know, let's get the hell out of there. They said, no. We need to know who it is. I said, well, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I said, take the fingerprints from everything you want. I wasn't there. So we're waiting. And suddenly the guy who did it and the guy with you, they came forward and they said, okay, it was us. You know what they had to do? They had to write, "I'm sorry, I broke the hotel 150 or 700 times or something." Like a little kid in school, that was their punishment. They had to write like 700 times.
What?
Paper, and then they were released. They go back to home.
They must didn't have cameras back then. Why did they just look on the camera?
That's what the thing, yeah. And also, right away, I said, take fingerprints from the fire extinguisher. I said, first, because when I came out, I saw a hole next to my door. And I'm looking, and I put my fist on it, but I didn't fit. I go, oh, God, it's not me. Because because I didn't know anymore. I went to bed because I knew this is going to go wrong.
Boss measures his fist against the wall. Nope, that wasn't my fist.
Bro, they transplanted. They took the fire extinguishers. And
everything was white. The whole hallway. Everything
You guys
was
were
white.
menaces.
No. We didn't do that shit.
You guys were menaces.
No.
Boss, what was your first impression of him when you actually went out with him and hung out with him?
Well, Quint is a guy that when you see him, you immediately love, right? That's the thing.
Yeah,
When you see him with the change in the beginning, you think, oh, it's a character. But once the laugh comes, he's got the best laugh in the world. He does. And that was it. We just clicked immediately right after. It was always a good connection from day one.
Yeah, me and Boss, we used to rap on the bus. We used to freestyle on the bus after, on the way back to the hotel after the fight. And so the people in Japan, they thought I knew how to rap. I'm like, I don't know how to rap. I just be drunk. Because that's why I started drinking the Japanese beer.
Yeah.
And I'd be buzzed from the beer. They had after parties soon as the fight was over.
Where?
In a back room from the fight.
In the locker room?
Everybody
it wasn't a locker
there.
room. It's like a banquet room.
In the banquet room, everybody was there. Because I just saw the interview with Lyoto Machida, and he was talking about the Inoki slap, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then one day at New Year's Eve, also, I had to, I was going to wait in line. I needed to get extra luck as well. I wanted to get slapped in the face. And I remember when it was my turn, I'm looking at him and I could immediately tell this is going to go wrong. He's going to hit me. And he hit me, right? Like hard. Bang! And I go, thank you. I didn't let him notice anything. And I just walked off. I go, but if there's a way I can get you back. And then it came 2 shows later. They were having a beer drinking contest, and they walked over to me, and I did the reverse psychology first in order to make them more interested. They go, Mr. Rutten, you're a very fast beer drinker. I go, yes, I am. He says, oh, Mr. Inoki is the fastest one in Japan, and he wants to do a competition. I said, I don't want to do that. He says, why not? I said, I don't want to embarrass him in front of everybody. I don't want to do that. And now for sure he wants to do it, right? Rico Rodriguez, he was going to do it with him, Inoki, and I'm standing here. So I did this big bottle of beer and go. And I can just slug it. I don't need to swallow it. So I go, and I put it down. They're both drinking. I say, I won, and then Inoki finished. And then I remember Rico finished it. He goes, whoa, and everything came out again. Immediately. But I looked at him, that's payback for that freaking slap you did.
Mike. I'm surprised you beat him because he got like a big chin. You would think he can hide some beer in there.
Some extra overage. Wait, I got like a half a gallon more here and there.
Every time I saw a Japanese person in Japan with a big chin like Inoki's, I was like, hey, do you know who your dad is? I swear those his kids.
Yeah.
That's the only person you see with a big chin like that, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of dudes like in Japan walking around or working there. And I walk right up to him like, hey, do you know who your dad is? And they be like, no.
Like, of course you don't. I know.
I know who your dad is.
You and I.
He was the king of Japan, right?
Oh my God, he was one of the most famous
guy.
Yeah, because his wrestling league and the fighters and everything.
I hear a story from Don Fry, and he there might be a little bit here and there, but I remember he had his final match against Don Fry, and Don messed up something with the throw. Hurt him. So while he went down, the fight had to get cut. So he's on the ground, and then Inoki tells him, take it home. That means, and he knows how he injured him on his farewell fight. So he does that, but now he's afraid, of course, because they have to wrap up, because if something's going to happen to me, I mean, this guy's God over in Japan, it's like, it's a big deal. So he said he was finally at the airport, and then he sits in the plane, and he goes, they start driving on the tarmac, and then there was an announcement. They stopped the plane, and he had to come forward to the cockpit. And it was Antonio Inoki talking to him that it was okay and there was no problem. And please, he shouldn't be feeling bad. But for a person to stop a plane at Tokyo Narita Airport to give him a message, that means you got some power, right?
Wow. Damn, I didn't know.
Unreal.
I didn't know he had that much power over there.
No. He's gigantic. I was in Holland because in the beginning with Pancrase, there was not a lot of money, so you fly economy. I almost never flew economy. And it was because the KLM were Japanese people there, and they were all fans. They always moved me up to business class. So that was really nice. So they love fighters, man, in Japan. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And the story that I want to tell with him, because a lot of people don't know, and he didn't know at the time. I don't know if you remember, I think you do. It's close to the hotel we were there. This is the problem in Japan. In Japan, you have people who are 75 years old and they're still working, right? They're standing on the street. They don't do anything, but there's a green light. They just go like this. They don't need to be there, but they have to, because apparently for a job. And I saw this old guy with a beard, and he was mopping the floor. And then we were talking, and suddenly Quentin is gone. And I go, where did Quentin go? And I remember he walks over to the guy, and he brought the guy to a bench, and he said, sit down. And he grabbed the hose, and you cleaned the whole freaking floor for that guy. And the guy you saw him. That was a really cool moment. That was really that I fell in love with you.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
You a good man.
Yeah, and not just like doing this. He did the whole freaking thing.
He must have been super old. He must have been super
He was
old.
old. He was very old.
Yeah, I don't like to see old people doing this.
Nah, but you also have a real admiration and respect for the Japanese people. You always talk about them in high regards and how they helped build your career.
I'm gonna tell you why I like Japanese people so much. When my first time going to Japan, when I went over there to Japan, was a kid from Memphis. Never thought I was even going to leave my city, let alone the country. And I went there and stuff, and like I said, I just got out of jail because I tried to come over and fight and stuff like that. And the Japanese fans, they were so nice to me and stuff. And then the people that didn't like me, they didn't like me not because I was black, it's because I was gaijin.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't Japanese. And I was okay with that.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, because it's all the same. We're all the same.
They're all the same.
That's it.
That's why I love it over there.
It's interesting, though, how Japan became like the headquarters of MMA, like kind of like started it, right? It's like the pioneering, groundbreaking floor from wrestling to, jiu-jitsu to the way you guys had pride in these leagues. It seems like it's like the headquarters.
Yeah, because Ken Shamrock said that Pancrase was around before the UFC. We always thought UFC
we fought
was
2
first.
months before. No, September. UFC was November in '93. So that was and I remember with Pride Fighting Championships when Chuck came to fight you, and then the pre-show before that, Dana was there.
Yeah,
and Dana was sitting first row, and I say, you watch, when this starts here, it's the most insane thing. I mean, the sound, the music, everything they have, it's so powerful, so cool. And it started, and I'm looking at Dana, and he goes like, wow, he looks at me like, this is my insane. And I think that also probably helped with the UFC to do some things like that as well, because it was just a small show was 45,000 people. That was considered a small show. So that was Saitama Super Arena, which most of the time they could expand to 48,000 to 49,000.
70,000.
No, 70 was Tokyo Dome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 70. And the biggest one we had was 91 and a half.
No way.
Yeah, that was the
91,000
Dynamite
people.
show. That's when they did not Pancrase, K1 guys, and they did Pride guys.
Yeah.
They mixed it, they blended.
Yeah.
Where was that at? Where was that show at?
Oh,
That
what was it again? It was an outdoor stadium.
soccer field or something.
Yeah, it was the most insane. Freaking, what's his name, came flying in on a parachute. The guy who fought Sakuraba all the way back. Oh no, fought Hickson Gracie, Takada. That was and people came in and it was wind. It was a lot of wind. I saw things flying out and the people parachuted in. I go, dude, this is very dangerous because I mean it was hard, like a very hard wind. But yeah, that was a crazy show.
So when you guys were fighting in Pancrase or Pride, did Dana White show up?
It was Pride.
It was Pride because
and why was he showing up?
Because Chuck was going to face the lightweight tournament, light heavyweight tournament.
Yeah.
So he came over with his fighter. He was managing Chuck at the time, right? Him and Tito.
Well, it was the UFC versus the Pride, I think. And they said,
Were they
our
marketing
fighter
it like
can
that?
beat this fighter, and then
So Chuck had just lost in America or something. He lost to Murillo Bustamante or something like that.
Okay.
And so Dana White put Chuck into that tournament. They was going against each other, Pride and the UFC. So he put Chuck in the tournament. The first round of the tournament, Chuck had to fight Alistair Overeem. He knocked out Alistair Overeem, so it was me next. I had to fight Chuck and Vanderlei Silva the same night.
That fight,
That was that fight when he came over, and Chuck and Dana White and Saka Kibara-san, they made a bet, a $250,000 bet.
yeah,
That is unreal. So he
Chuck
came
would win.
over. So Dana White came over with Chuck.
Yeah.
But that probably gave him a lot of good inspo, huh? A lot of good inspiration on what to do with the UFC at the
But
time.
they still didn't make the show like Pride. It was second.
Nobody did that.
No, nobody did.
I think what they did in Japan, they made the fighter big as well. And I think it could be a problem for other organizations because if they become really powerful, they can start demanding whatever they want to do. So there's a fine line they walk. It's business, right?
Yeah.
And in Japan, they don't. Like we always asked, why can't they see those videos they played? Why don't you show this on the American broadcast? But they wouldn't allow it. But dude, you would see things. I remember Fedor and Mirko were fighting. And then the story, you see, dude, it's like a Rocky story. You see Fedor train with old kettlebells with Rusty running in the snow. And then you see freaking Mirko, he's training this high-tech gym and he's kicking these clean bags. And then the other one, and he goes back and forth. And then you see suddenly rivers with ice and corpses in there. And then you see Mirko sitting at the grave of his father. And then, he died in war. And, and she tears. And when he came up, they zoomed in on him. And he was crying. He had tears in his eyes from the thing that he just saw. And then he's steps out to fight freaking Fedor Emelianenko. But I get goosebumps now because it was so well done. It was these little stories they had.
Yeah.
But it was so powerful.
Yeah. They paid attention to certain details that UFC never paid attention to, and stuff about the fighters, like the interviews. Like you guys would never see like the Japanese interviews. They would never see those. Like the questions that it's just they was on another level. They was on another level. The way they did the show, like he's right. They was just on another level.
Yeah, it's crazy to me in terms of the way fighters transition now from becoming just part of an organization to being superstars. You know, back then, we talked about this last night at Nobu. Back then, it's like a crew. You have Randleman, you have Gracie, you have Boss, you have Rampage, you have Vanderlei. These names are like, you're going to watch them fight 2-3 times a year. You're going to be fans of them. You're going to follow them. They're going to have a lot of ring time. And these superstars were born that you grew up watching. Now, the fighter, the lifespan and the way it's operating, it's like you see them once a year. By the time they fight again, they're already falling off, or maybe they're not falling off. And then you see another fighter, and it's like, I don't feel like we're getting the superstars that we did back then. Back then, we were getting them in dozens at a time that we could, I grew up watching these guys, and there was a lot of them for me to follow. Now there's very few that I can really follow
It's different now.
Yeah.
Everybody look the same.
The whole, and it's the social media. Everybody wants to be a star on that and doing that. I think the focus goes too much. Focus on your fighting. That's what you're going to do. Do that. You know, we're talking about I believe she's Philippine, the boxing lady right now. She's young. She's beating everybody, undefeated, world champion, has no social media, has no phone, doesn't date. She says, I do that when my career is over. But look at her. I mean, she's doing phenomenal things, you know, and we got distracted by everything. Our short-term span is, it's ridiculous. Everything needs to be presented to us. We need to order food in. We cannot even go get it because we don't have the time. We don't have time to train. I say, give me your phone. Oh, it was 6.5 hours yesterday on your phone. You say you cannot do 30 minutes or 45 minutes from that. And then they look at you, I go, that's what I'm saying. And why don't you do what I do? Wake up early. And then do it. Wake up an hour and a half before. I can do my things. I do my meditation, my prayers, my workout, my cold plunge. If it's 8 o'clock, do it. I already walked the dog, went to the gym. I did everything. You know, but you can do that too. Just don't start tomorrow at 8. I always say, at 5 o'clock, just go to 7:30 and do that for a week. And then you go to 7 o'clock and then do it for a week. You know, slowly but surely you get used to it. And suddenly you're waking up for 5. And now you got like 3-4 hours for yourself before the day really starts. It's so peaceful. It's so nice. Keep the stupid phone off. Like when I read, because I read from my phone, I turn off that I can't see messages coming in because I got ADD. I see a message. Oh, I want to answer. You know, boom, I'm out. The whole concentration is gone. Stop it. Focus on yourself. And that's a big thing. And that's what you should do now also for your training camp. I would just go like bizarre. Just cut off social media. Let the people around you, they will take care of you. Well, they make the pictures, they post, you know, you can tell them what you want to have as a caption, you know, so it's still you doing it, but don't read the messages, don't read all, because, you know, people are people have no life, and they just fire on people. If they see somebody succeed, they can't stand it because they don't have it, you know, and it's just bad people out there right now, and it affects you.
I agree.
It affects everybody.
I agree with you 100%, but on my Instagram, it goes down in the DMs.
The DM,
Boss, I already tried.
You want to DM me? That's not going to work. Because I don't.
You don't?
No, I have way too many messages. I would never go. I have somebody sometimes, you look, you say, hey, dude, these big podcasts, they want to have you. Okay, I'll answer those guys. But I don't have the time. It's like on Facebook. I mean, I can't, man. I'm way too busy.
I think you're 100% right. How you feel about the fighters now? You think they're too caught up in being famous and being present?
Yeah. I think a lot of fighters want to be fighting because they see like a Conor McGregor, they see the end product. But they don't know what work you need to do. And all the injuries and working around it and the stress at home and this. And you're not the nicest person to your lady, you know, because of to your partner, whatever it is. You know, because you're an injury. You got things like the last fight with the World Series of the WFA. I was the last 2 weeks. I moved to another house because a friend of mine said, hey, if you want a house, go there. Because I was getting injured. I was just not fun to be around. I go, you know what? I'm not going to stay home because I'm going to, you know, snap it maybe. I don't want to do that. And I just 2 weeks by myself and just training. And I think this is the best way to do it. You know, and now all these distractions. That's why it's called distractions. Don't have them.
No, absolutely.
I'm going to listen to him. So I'm going to put my phone away.
That's it.
You need that because all he does is talk to girls all day long. And he needs to get serious.
I'm a single man.
Yeah, he say that, but he got 20 girls, boss. So explain that one to me. The math don't add up.
Bro, I don't got 20 girls. But what I don't have, I wish I had 20 girls in Orange County. That's what the problem is.
Boss, you know the problem?
20 years, I got no girls here.
Yeah.
No, you have one problem. I'll tell you what it is.
You only need one, right?
Yeah. Thank you, boss.
That's all I need.
Boss, thank you. He needs one. You know,
I need one.
I'm 32 years with mine, and I'm very happy. And she stayed with me. I mean, I was crazy. You know, I was crazy. So I'm very blessed that she stuck with me.
You found a good one.
I found a good one for the rest of your life. I will make it up for you. You'll never have to worry about anything again.
He needs this, boss. Every time he tells me, yo, I'm going on a date. I'm like, so what? So you can't be at the podcast tomorrow? He goes, no, I got to go to Thailand. Go, you're going to Thailand to meet a girl? Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah.
Don't be that shit. Yeah. I don't go to Thailand to meet no girl.
Hey, what's the schedule look like the next 2 months? Thailand, Japan, Mongolia, Vietnam.
This work. Thailand, where I'm not going to go to Thailand. That's a long flight to meet a girl. And then you there might be a guy.
No. So you had some issues with this before?
No. I've never been tricked. No. I've never been tricked. I've never been tricked in person. I've been tricked over pictures. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But this is the rule. This is the rule. I'm gonna teach these young folks. I'm teaching y'all. This is the rule. If you see a woman with a bunch of plastic surgery, just keep going. Because that way you won't ever get tricked. Because you won't get tricked. Because how do I say this politically correct? The ones that be making the transformations, they got to use plastic surgery. So that's why I don't like girls that got all the plastic surgery. Because a lot of these girls doing plastic surgery now, they're looking like trans women. They looking like trans. He likes those women, all those plastic surgery. I see you like every time I go through Instagram, I see the girl with all the plastic face. I see he all like it. I see him with the hard eyes on.
Boss, you see what I got doing? No. I'm working.
Well, hey, I want to learn, but this is what I want to learn. You talking about training? I want to learn about this thing. Because I remember years ago you invented something that gives you good cardio.
It gives you, it makes your lungs expand to the maximum amount they have. Like people say, oh, this product makes your lungs bigger. It's a lie. If they say that, don't buy it. Well, it's a loophole. Like for instance, at the age of 28, that's when you start to decline in chest expansion. That means then your lungs literally go smaller. Like for instance, I'm 58. So if I wouldn't have done anything for the last 30 years, I would have lost almost a liter now from the 6 liters that I have, right? So that's bad. But if you keep it working, then it's like chest flexible. That's it. You know, and that's what this thing do. It's inspiratory muscle training. I didn't invent it. Every Olympian endurance athlete is using it. It is super important. Yeah, no, I invented the model because I was 14 years of age. And when I was 14, I came up with it. And it's such a basic concept that I have that I was allowed to get the patent. So that helped me a lot. I got pulmonologists now buying it. So the way it works is like your lungs have no muscles, right? There's zero muscle in a lung. If you can't expand your chest, you die. That's it. Now, chest expansion is done by your diaphragm, which is the biggest mover for inhaling, and your intercostals, which are the muscles in between your ribs. The external ones, they open up your chest. So even if your diaphragm doesn't work, your chest can still do it, but you're not going to be an athlete. Trust me. So once you start working out those muscles, then you go to another step. I always try to explain things in steps, like how does your endurance increases, right? Well, you train hard, I know, but what happens inside the body that it goes up? There's got to be a reason. Well, the reason is if you work out a muscle over and over again, right, it becomes more efficient at its job. And the word efficient already says it, uses less oxygen, therefore your stamina goes up. Okay, cool. So put that one in the back pocket. Then you go like, what happens when you're gassing? When you run a hill, I always say it the same way. If you heard me telling the story, it's the same way. You're running a hill and suddenly it feels like you can hit a wall because that's when you start gassing. That is your body starts redirecting your oxygenated blood and it will take it away from your legs. Well, wait a minute, I'm working my legs. Yes, but he sends it to the number one priority in your body, which is breathing. 3.5 minutes without it, you might be dead, right? So they say, no, this is more important. And they send it to your breathing muscles. Okay, but wait a minute. You just said if you work out a muscle over and over again, it becomes more efficient. So why don't I work out my 11 pounds of breathing muscles with a breathing device so they become more efficient and they don't have to steal the blood anymore? Blood stealing is literally a medical term that they use from those limbs. Then suddenly you go, okay, instead of just gassing here, now you start gassing there. And that's the delay. Ask Lyoto Machida. He left me a voicemail message. He was freaking out. He had COVID. He was doing it for 4 months. You do it. It's a 4.5 minutes a day. I do 5 minutes. But just put a timer. And that's it. And he goes, dude, this is crazy. I had COVID. I was in bed for 10 days. Couldn't do anything. Then 2 days later, I start training with my professional fighters. I outworked everybody. I had better stamina. My breathing was so in control. He was freaking out. I go, yeah, that's exactly the same. This is the first time that my muscles get tired from punching. I never had it in the past. In the past, my breathing couldn't pick up. Like if you stand in front of a mirror, I say, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. You see, you're raising your shoulder. Completely wrong. So that means, no, but 95% of us is doing it. And for the people at home, Google it. Don't believe me, Google it. What is the percentage of people breathing wrong? You will see all the tests coming out. Because 4 to 6 of these breaths is the same as 1 diaphragmatic breath. That's a gigantic difference. Even take 4. Not 6, 4. So instead of 40 times doing this, you can do the same amount of air with 10 times.
With just your diaphragm?
With just your diaphragm, that's it. So you got to grab the bottom of your chair. That's what I tell people. Don't raise your shoulders. It's just what, start breathing, yeah. Now, in the beginning, I say, we call it belly breath.
Yeah.
It's really not a belly breath, but to get in somebody's head, because if you raise your shoulders, to get completely the opposite, it's always the best thing to do. I say, okay, don't raise your shoulders, go for belly. And then once they got it down with the belly, I say, okay, now raise it up a little bit. Start breathing with the bottom part of your rib cage, because that's actually what the diaphragm is attached to. So once you start training those 11 pounds of breathing muscles, it does crazy things. I mean, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. I thought it was because it stopped me from having asthma, carrying an inhaler, my body the same, all the reviews. We got 4.7 review on
what's the name of
on Amazon, the O2 trainer.
Well, where can I get it from, though?
Yeah, I got it from you here.
No, but where can, if
O2trainer.com.
O2trainer.com.
O2trainer.com. Super basic, comes all with the caps. There's some other things that work, so don't look at what it looks like.
Okay.
Because people are going to go, this is weight training for your muscles. As you can see, it comes with big holes and tiny holes. There's a joke there, right?
I'm not going to say, I was going to leave that one alone.
So,
I like tiny holes myself, but.
There you go. So we go to the 5 millimeter. Is that going to fit? No, I don't know. That's what she said. So what you're doing is you're exhaling, and that's without resistance. This is a flap, and it opens up. All the air can go out. And then when you breathe in, this closes. It forces you to breathe into this. And for the people at home, you got to do it double side. So breathing in and out, it's bad. Read the reviews. It doesn't work. Separating it, it's really good. So first do a breathing in with resistance workout and breathing out.
Breathe.
And then grab the bottom of your chair so you can't raise your shoulders. Exhale everything you got. And then inhale with force. As hard as you can. And then only focus on your belly to expand. You do 4 breaths, you're going to feel these abs here. Everything out. And then explode in. Go hard. There you go. And then focus. And the only thing you have to do is literally between 3 and 4.5 minutes. It's 30 repetitions that you have to do with it. That's when you work out your front breathing muscles. Then, but wait, there's more. There's also back breathing muscles. Muscles you never used before. So now for fun, just lean over like this. Completely relax every muscle in the body. Because in the beginning, people say, my neck is hurting the muscles because you're doing this. You start flexing. But if you relax every muscle and only focus on your belly. But now when you inhale, I want you to focus on the lower back of your back to expand. Yes. Like even Joe Rogan goes like, dude, I feel muscles I've never felt before. Don't do this too much the first time because it feels like you had a really hard back workout. You're going to walk around with some freaking serious muscle aches.
Do the first one.
Yeah.
Why you staring at me? Why you staring at me like that?
Because
this shit works,
I
bro.
like the fact that he's focused.
Yeah.
I told you this last night. We got to get him focused for this fight, and I've never seen you actually care about training.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've heard about this thing and how well it works, and so I saw him with it. And I want to ask him, from the horse's mouth. I heard this thing works really good.
We did hear a lot of good reviews about this because you were on Joe Rogan, right? And you talked about this, and you talked about breath work and a lot of things. And I know you train the SEALs. We'll get into that. And you do a lot of stuff with training athletes. It is amazing to me because you're saying that the way that you raise your shoulders and lower your shoulders shows the improper technique of breathing, right? That's it. We breathe perfect until we're 5.5 years of age. That's when everything goes down. And that's the age kids start going to school. They start wearing belts. They start sitting down all day long. And the most important one, this is really crazy. You're going to laugh, but you think that's not true. It's 100% true. Look it up. I'm just saying what public medical journals say. So they see the different sex. And then it's this, and they see heroes, superheroes, and they have abs. Wait a minute, if I'm keep breathing like this, they might think I'm fat. They literally start adapting their breathing, start raising their shoulders. And then you go to the doctor, and he puts a stethoscope on here, and he says, take a deep breath. So you think, here's my lungs. No, your lungs are here. They're below. They literally massage your intestines. That's why everybody have problems with digesting is because they don't work their diaphragm. Your balance, you're aligning the spine, back problems, everything. I have like 15 published medical journals, but if you go to to a published medical journal website, there's over 2,000 published medical journals about inspiratory muscle training. COPD, cystic fibrosis, asthma, sleep apnea, adjusting to high altitude. I mean, there's a list that keeps on going. It's the most insane thing. And balance. My balance now, it's like,
I thought I had good balance, but now it's like completely different.
Did all of this come about you having asthma as a kid? Is that why you were trying to use washers, or what were you doing?
So I had severe asthma. Every 5 weeks I would be a week in bed, not able to eat because 24/7. I couldn't breathe, right? Nothing. Drinking water, had to put in a cloth and then suck it out of the cloth because if it shoots in your lungs, that's going to be bad. But I was also doing track and field at a pretty much high level already at a very young age because I was just an explosive guy. And the 800 meters and 1500 meters, of course, always sucked for me because of my asthma. But then after an attack, yeah, you in the beginning you'll have that. You need to I will talk about that.
I just rinse it out.
No, it's for you. Yeah, you just rinse it off under the water.
Thank you. I'm gonna use this every day.
You should. It's a gigantic difference. And don't expect, for the people at home, don't expect something in a week. You have to retrain your body. You've been breathing incorrect because the 5% that breathes correctly probably have breathing classes. Since you were 5.5 years of age. All that time that you've been breathing wrong takes about 4 to 6 weeks, and then you automatically start breathing with your diaphragm, and then everything becomes much better. Then you strengthen those muscles, you give them more endurance. Now you start gassing way later than a regular person does.
Yeah, I like it. I'm
it's
practicing
crazy.
right now.
So when I went to the doctor's office, I always thought that infection was in your lungs, but when you're a kid, right, everybody thinks that. But it's not. It's the airways, the bronchial tubes that go to the lungs. And it showed an infected air and a healthy one. And I'm standing there, 14, and I go like, I've been working out with resistance in my lungs. I thought my lungs were doing the work. And why don't I come up with some? So I was really stupid. I had these little washers with holes in them, and I put them in front of my teeth. Super dangerous, right? If you swallow, it shoots in your lung, that's it. If it bypasses the bronchial tube, you're dead, right? You can't Heimlich it out. So I figured, okay, but that's always in my head. And then Vanderlei Silva was training his fighters on The Ultimate Fighter with a snorkel. Somebody called, I had like 3 phone calls that night. They said, that dude, the Routenizer, that was the original name, the Routenizer. You're going to make that thing because somebody's getting close. And I made it. 3.5 weeks, my asthma's gone. I don't even have an inhaler anymore. I go, there's no way.
3.5 weeks?
3.5 weeks. I have a commercial where I say that if within 1 month, if you do it every day within 1 month, if it's not 70% or more gone, they say, how can you say 70%? Well, if you use an inhaler 10 times a day, you use it now 3 times, I would say that's 70%, right? But or more gone, I give you your money back. And nobody asked me my money back because everybody who's doing it, it works. Now, does it fix an infection? Of course not. It can't. You know, it's not a freaking pill. But what it does, it makes your inhaling muscles so strong that even when your pipe is infected, it pulls it straight through because your inhale muscles are so strong now.
What about me? I've been smoking since I was 8 years old.
It's what you're probably going to have after your first set. 5 minutes later, you're going to cough up a lot of gunk. Everybody will tell that, if like also when you had a big cold and you use the O2 trainer, everything comes out. So it's going to clear your lungs. It's really insane. It's hard. And I always tell people, oh, you just say that because I said, no, look at the published medical journals.
No, I've been hearing.
A lot of people have been talking about it. And I think the cool thing is that a lot of people know how authentic and real you are. So I don't think they would think you're out here peddling something.
Yeah.
Like they all believe in you. They all know that you're the real deal. Boss, a lot of people always wondered, you were about to be a 2-division champ in the UFC, especially when you moved down to 205. Why did you feel it was time to cut the UFC or move on from the UFC?
So first of all, there was only 2 weight classes. They called it heavyweight and I believe middleweight, 200 pounds and over. So I was going for the heavyweight title. On my jeans, with my jeans, on the weight scale, I'm 197. They say, okay, you can fight, but it's not for the title. I go, what do you mean? You need to be over 200. I go, wait. So my friends were drinking waters. I drank all their waters. Drank way too much. I jumped back on 203. So I drink freaking 6 pounds of water. So I made the fight. So for me, it was very easy because Frank was at the time the lightweight champion. Middleweight, they called it a weird name. So I said, okay, but I was so injured already, had so many injuries, that I said, I want to be the first one who's going to be a 2-division champion, but that's going to be the last fight because there's no way I can do this again. So then I said that I want to fight. Frank said no, he didn't want to fight. He wanted to fight Tito Ortiz, and after he would beat Tito, he would fight me. Then he beat Tito, and then Frank retired. So then when that fight was taken away, with all the pains that I had, I say, then I stopped too, because it's too painful. I had tendonitis. It's not really tendon, it's my tendons. My muscles apparently are stronger than my tendons. So at a certain moment in training, suddenly I feel like that's the only thing I feel. And then I have 45 minutes per workout, and I'm going to be 2 hours in the most insane pain. And that makes training really bad. He already doesn't like training. I would love to train. I always love, but once there's so much pain, you can't take pills because you're going to have to fight, you know. And then 2 times a day going through the hell, I go, yeah, I can't do it anymore. It's too much.
Yeah.
That's why I hate training, because I had all these injuries.
Yeah, it's the worst. But this is the first time you told me in Japan. I could not believe it. I said, I look forward to train. In the morning, I would wake up, we were talking about it, waking up my wife in the middle of the night because I would dream a submission. I put her in that submission.
Really?
I would write it down. Oh, tomorrow I can try it out. You know, I was so excited to go work out. But once the injuries come, that takes the fun out of it.
I don't know why, because when I was training for Pride, you know, the first round was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so we used to train 11, 12 minutes for the first round. I don't know. I just never really loved it. It wasn't something that I love. I love the fighting, though. I love sparring. I love fighting. I didn't like the training, because a lot of the coaches, they're like control freaks, and they just go too far, and sometimes they have you doing stuff that I just didn't believe in too. I was like, man, that's bullshit. I don't really want to do that.
Yeah. It's just not conducive to the way you wanted to operate as a
I'm
fighter.
like, I don't even fight that way. I had one boxing coach, like when there was like you know, like the open workouts. I always want to do something different on the pads. Like, you never taught me this. Like, why we when people watching, why you want to do something different than it's just a whole lot of stuff.
It's about them.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Right. It's the little small stuff that bothers me. I'm the weirdest thing. Like, little small things bother me. I like for stuff to go real smooth, then I'm happy. Then I would love training. But it used to be a time when I did love it. Back when I was wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
I did love it. But then as soon as I got injured and stuff, I'm like, fuck this.
And there's too many trainers and too many, you know, so many different advices, and this works and this works. No, figure it out yourself and make that very strong. The example I always do, Masuyama, right? Masuyama is the founder of Kyokushin karate, full contact karate. He was known for knocking out bulls. Knocking out a bull with his bare hand. And when they asked him if there was one technique in his body that he could make stronger, he goes, my fist. It was still not enough. He wanted always more. And I think that is the mindset you need for fighting. Me, I always thinking, he's training harder than I do. If I would be dead, I will go, he's going to do 3 extra rounds right now. And just say that to myself, oh, boom, fire back, and I would go again. You know, always push, always push. I used to fight with a heart rate monitor. I need to go over 200. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel like I didn't work out. Wow. And once you get really in shape, well, try to get that freaking thing over 200. It's going to be very hard to do, you know, but, you know, pushing, which is stupid because that's actually bad for you. But I didn't know. I thought just the more I train, the stronger I get. It's not. You need rest. I once time... They didn't really wake me up, but I passed it. I heard somebody coming in, and I realized I was like out for 5 minutes. I was me by myself hitting a bag, and that was literally my body said, "Hey, I'm out." I had 4% body fat.
Oh, that's not healthy.
No. And the doctor goes like, "How much do you train?" I said, "Every day." So what do you mean? I go, "You never rest." He says, I said, "No, I train 2 times a day. I train 12 rounds on the back." I said, "I don't have anything else, so that's the only thing I do." He goes, "Bas, your body needs to recoup. You need you're breaking your muscles, and the way to make them stronger is rest and protein. So if you now gonna stop like 2 days or like a day and a half or something, you're gonna be so freaking strong. I mean, what you did now is already amazing, but you watch." And boy, he was right. Yeah. I mean, I was doing freaking 9-1 on pull-ups. I was very strong at the time. You know, the iron cross. I could do a lot of stuff, but it was because a doctor slapped me in the face and said, "Hey, dude, you need rest to get strong." I had no clue. I thought just do more. It's always better.
Yeah, a lot
it's like drugs. 1 is good, 5 is better. You know, I was so insane. Yeah, I'm so happy that all is behind me, man.
Oh, man.
You.
I know. Even last night, you know, it was interesting watching him. He was talking about, you were talking about your fast right now.
Yeah.
And how you're kind of resetting yourself. You do it for 90 days.
For 90 days, you know, I'll pop it up real fast. So for 90 days, what you're doing, you're detaching from everything that you normally do.
What, a food fast for 90 days?
Girls.
Okay, watch this. So I'm allowed for 90 days only to take showers, cold showers. Practice intense, regular exercise every day. Get a full night's sleep, easy. Abstain from alcohol. Abstain from desserts and sweets. Abstain from eating in between meals. Abstain from soda drinks. Abstain from television, movies, televised sports. Abstain from video games. Abstaining from non-essential material purchases. Only listen to music that lifts the soul. Only use your computer for work. Only use your mobile device for work. And then you have 2 fasting days that you have to do also where you can't eat meat, which is the hardest day for me because I'm a meat eater. That's on Wednesday. Today not, and Friday, but today is a feast day. So today I can eat meat, which was good because this morning I had bacon. Yeah, American breakfast, man. We need some bacon. But you do this for 90 days, and what you realize is that you're such a weak guy because we're so used to, I want this sugar thing. And now you say no. And by just saying no, it's like Leota says, I go every day in a cold plunge. I don't want to do it. You think at 6 o'clock in the morning I want to jump in a freaking 40-degree or 38-degree tub? Of course not. But you do it. And because you do it, you get used to it. And you get used to doing things that you don't want to do. And that's the problem with nowadays. Everybody feeds their pleasures, drinking, ding. Nobody. That's why a lot of people, but I say the cold showers, they're out. That's just one rule. They cannot even do the cold. So what you're saying, like one guy, I always use this example. They said, okay, what's the one thing you cannot go without? And he goes, my coffee in the morning. I go, no, I don't mean that. I mean, what is the one thing that you really cannot do without? And he goes, my coffee in the morning. I go, I don't even want to be your friend anymore. I mean, so if war breaks out, coffee is gone, your life is gone. That's what you're saying? How stupid is that? That you can't start the day without a cup of coffee. Dude, that's weak. That's a pussy, I always say. They say, oh, you said pussy? No. I say P-U-S-I. I made an abbreviation of the word pusillanimous. And it means lack of courage, lack of determination. And that's why I call everybody a pussy. That's why it sounds so weird, because it comes from pusillanimous.
It sounds like pussy.
Yeah.
But they probably think because he's Dutch. They probably think his accent.
Yeah. Don't get it wrong. Like other people telling me, like this fighter comes to me I'm the boss. I make these funny shirts, right? I'm the boss instead of Rutten to the core, like these things. And he'll say, "Hey, boss, you spelled your name wrong. It's 2 S's." And I go, "Let me think. I was born with it." No, you're wrong. I spell my own name wrong. Yeah, we're not known as being the smartest, I guess.
What's one thing you can't go without?
Pussy. Does it say anything? No pussy for 90 days?
Well, it's a Catholic thing, so officially, you cannot mess around.
You can't. No,
you cannot
for 90 days.
For 90 days, you got to be.
So that means you got to be with one girl.
And jumping on go. No, you can't. You need one partner, and officially, you have to get married even first. They give you a little leeway with that. Trust me, because it's very hard in this day and age to do that.
Yeah.
But for the rest,
where is that from?
It's a Catholic. I got to jump back into the Catholic faith. I had this attack by spirit. It was so freaking scary what happened to me. I saw this curtain fly in front of me up against the ceiling. Like, a lot of things happened. There's a whole list. I made a video on it on YouTube. Why did he get back to the faith? Watch that, because then I go into the details.
All right.
But trust me, I knew this is not the life. It's going to come. The real life is going to come. This is where time stops, and that's going to go, and you're going to be in that for the rest of your physical life. That's it. Yeah.
So you joined back to the Catholic faith. You came back to it.
Yes, I went there because, and I like the principles, and there's some of the bad things that happen in church. Yes, there's some bad things, but they happen everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like me, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What if one coach has sex with a 14-year-old student? Oh, so now your moves don't work anymore? The teaching suddenly Jiu-Jitsu doesn't work anymore? No, it's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Don't blame that. There's bad guys everywhere. What do you think with infiltration, what happens? The church at one moment was one of the biggest things on the planet. Evil people don't like that, so there's infiltration coming.
Right.
And what do you think if you're Boy Scouts, right? Who signs up? Well, yes, there's going to be some pedophiles. Wait a minute, I'm going to be alone with some kids. Yeah, I want to be. That's how it goes. And that's the same with the priests, So
comes with the territory.
But I made a video about that too, and then I say, okay, so we talked about what they did bad. Let's talk about what they did right, and then I wrap it up with that. And every person goes like, dude, I had no idea. If you have the list, the hundreds of thousands of schools, everything that they pay for, the hospitals, 1 in 5 hospitals is free here. Also, from the schools, we started schools because of the Catholic faith. Women, like the feminists, are also. Listen, you have a voice because of the Catholic Church. They were nothing all the way back. There was the church that said, no. Women have rights, and they started doing all that stuff. So much good, but bad people. That's the same when we're talking about online with your Twitter. You got 150 nice messages, you got one bad one. Guess where the attention is going? To the bad one. And that's just how we go. We judge people on what they did wrong.
Right.
And that's wrong,
Right.
Judge people on what they are, not doing one thing wrong, and now he's the complete ass. It doesn't work like that.
It's always a bad apple in everything. So
Everywhere.
Every single thing. So you shouldn't judge people. Like, that's one thing about me. I feel it's wrong to be, what's the word? Prejudice. It's like it's not a form of prejudice. Like somebody has a different religion than somebody else. Like people should be praising you for having faith in anything that's spiritual and it's positive.
That's it.
100%.
You see? I don't go after everyone.
And at least realigning your spirit and your mind, that always helps when you go through life, especially if you have those dark days. You need something to fall back on. You're not always going to have a good crew. One thing, Bas, that everybody talks about you is your involvement with Alistair Overeem and his UFC career. What was your involvement?
It was not that crazy. Well, I do know that I trained with him. And him and his brother, Valentine, they would come over like every 2 months, surprise me at my gym. And then suddenly, because they would work really hard on the groundwork, and they say, hey, what a roll now. Like a dojo fight almost. But not like a fight, just coming to me. And then, I would do my submission things, and then he would go like, shit. I go, listen, I'm training too. So, but what you're doing right now is the best you can do. Just keep doing that because this is the only way you get better. But I'm training also. I'm still freaking fighting. So it's not like I stop training so you get better. No, I'm getting better as well. So that was pretty much the biggest involvement that I had. I knew all his trainers, Martijn de Jong and everybody around him. I know that whole gang, so to say, because Meng Ho, the gym from Robbie Dekkers, that was the gym that I was training. And Cor Hammers, he's the main guy for that. That was the guy who put a lot of freaking superstars in fighting. So, and Robbie Dekkers was the biggest one. And Robbie Dekkers, I was the biggest Robbie Dekkers fan, is the most insane Thai boxer. I believe pound for pound, he's still the best guy. Unfortunately, he passed away. But dude, what a freaking animal, that guy. It was the most insane thing. I was fighting on the same card one day. My buddy comes, I have like 2 fights as my fight. And my buddy comes in, he says, hey, you got to check out this kid. I go, dude, my fight is coming up. He says, you want to check out this kid, man? Come walk with me. You warmed up, right? Yeah, come on with me. So I'm coming there, and he's like 17 or 16. He's a little skinny guy with a mullet. Thai boxing music goes. And then his opponent is like freaking 12 kilo, which is like 30 pounds heavier. He's older, I go, dude, the kid's going to get slaughtered. And my buddy goes like, just watch. And I go, and he doesn't do anything, and he moves away, and the first low kick he gives him, he kicks the guy horizontal. He gives him a low kick, and the guy flies and falls on the ground. And I'm going, whoa, what happened? And then he just destroyed. And then when he went to Thailand, Koban was the guy who was undefeated, never knocked out. He was the first guy to knock him out. And he started just terrorizing. He was the first fighter who became fighter of the year in Thailand, which always went to a Thai guy, but they had to break the mold because he was so good. He was the first one. And since then, it started more happening with Forrest. But he was the guy when they broke the mold for that.
I always wanted to know, how did the Dutch fighters get so good at kickboxing? Is it Muay Thai? What happened?
So they went to Muay Thai. They wanted to Thai box, and they went to Thailand. Rob Kaiman and all these guys, these phenomenal guys, and they got their asses kicked. And it was especially the coaches. And then they realized, wait a minute, predominantly it's kicking. What if we add Western boxing and we're going to wrap it up with kicks? And they start training that, and then they start beating the Thais. And suddenly it started changing. And then you had, Rob Kamen, El Goebli. I mean, there were so many fighters that were so amazing from Holland, but it was Western boxing, wrapping it up with kicks, and of course kicks here and there as well, but to do something different than the Thais were doing, because it was a kick fest there. Bam, 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 bam. Constantly they were kicking. Now they start throwing hands. Samart was the only guy, I think, he was the Lumpini Rajadamma Stadium, but he was also a WBO boxing champion. So he was also, and he was one of the best ever. But you see, there was another Thai who just said, hey, I'm going to box a lot too. And now they're all, the guys from 1FC, if you see, what a murderers, man. These guys are so good. It's scary.
I was always wondering, like, why are the guys from Holland so good at kickboxing?
Yeah.
So they went to Thailand.
Lost first, and then they just changed their whole fighting style, and then they came back, and then it became bigger. And now actually Thailand started boxing more, so they kind of took that from the Dutch again.
Yeah.
I went to a fight one time in the Jaap Edehal. There was the place where everybody fought. There was literally me jumping in front of Rob Kamen making a picture because I was a big fan. And they were fighting 4 Thais, 4 world championships, broadcasted live to Thailand. Every Thai got knocked out. That never happened again. They never did that again. Wow. So that was a big day that time.
Yeah, you could argue that the Dutch fighters are better than the Thai fighters.
And then
Muay Thai. And
then on top of that, especially heavyweight division, we have the tallest people in the world, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of natural heavyweights as well. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing. A lot of people are just tall too. like Thai don't have a lot of big heavyweights.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of naturally big Thai.
Like Shaman Shield, is he normal? Is that normal height for people?
No. He's 7 feet.
That guy was tall as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of. I've never been. I've been to the airport. I've never been to Holland.
Oh, that's so crazy. We got to go one time
I want to
together.
go. Yeah, I want to go.
I'll show you around. Be happy it's now, otherwise you never come back. I'm toned down quite a bit.
Yeah.
That peeing under the table ain't happening.
I can't believe it. Hey, this guy, one time, we was drinking in Japan. He had something to do. He had business to do. Like he was commentating and stuff like that. So he had to leave early. And he left, and I'm out there on the street, and I see him. He looks the wrong way. He get hit by a car. He's in Japan. He looks the wrong way. He gets flipped high in the air. And he lands, and I'm like, oh my God.
He's dead.
Boss is dead. Yeah. He just, I'm like, what the fuck? He pops up, he feels his rib like this. He said, okay, no internal bleeding. Vaccine.
Just gross. Everybody was there. They thought we saw Bas Rutten die.
Man, everybody. It was the craziest thing, bro.
I can't imagine.
So he said he toned down. I can't believe a boss has been any different now. I guess when we mature, we get older.
That's the thing. But also, and that was the first time I wasn't drunk. That was the weirdest part. Because everybody was drinking. You just left also because you had to get. And I said, you know what? I go with you, and I don't tell anybody because otherwise people say, oh, stay. Because I say, you know, I want a good night's sleep. And you see what happens when you don't drink? You get hit by a car.
He was always the life of the party. Nobody didn't want him to leave. He was always the life of the party, man.
And you guys always were pretty close with your squad, even though a lot of you guys fought each other. Like, how was your guys' relationship together with Kevin Randleman? You guys all became friends together?
Oh, great. Kevin was the freaking man. The whole camp, everybody, they were fun.
Yeah.
Kevin is the guy who gave me the name El Guapo. It started with that. That was the Tokyo Hilton. We were eating with Shamrock. Ken Shamrock is there, and his wife at the time, she was Mexican. And we were talking about the movie The Three Amigos. And then I said, hey, what does it mean, actually, El Guapo? And I always called myself the most handsome fighter in MMA. And then they said, it's the handsome guy. I go, oh, that's funny. And then I remember when Kevin got up, he says, okay, Guapo, we'll see you later, buddy. And then Coleman started doing it, and suddenly it became...
that became the nickname for me.
Yeah, everybody was cool, man. I never seen nobody have problems with each other.
Yeah,
but only Vanderlei. Vanderlei was the only one that people didn't. You know, he didn't mix well with other people.
Really,
he was the only one. But everybody else.
It
was
always
cool.
seemed like your crew, even in these videos, like when we watch it, it's like the glory days of fighting, and it seems like that squad of superstars. They're all superstars, by the way.
Yep.
And you guys were just always together, even though some of you were fighting each other. It made no sense.
But Bas wasn't fighting.
I wasn't fighting in Pancrase. I was fighting in Pride. Yeah. But even when I was fighting, I remember I went to the UFC with Kosaka, my first fight. I just walked into the dressing room. I go, DK, I'm going to try to knock you out, dude. I hope you do the same thing with me. We'll drink a beer afterwards. Cool? And he goes, yeah, okay. Show you after the fight. And that's how we did it. We did for Frank and me. I said, listen, I'm going to go, you know, and I expect you to go as well. And then afterwards we'll hang out again.
Was Frank cool always?
Frank has always been cool, yeah. Even Ken, everybody.
Ken is
cool.
I never had a problem. Because Ken looks so intimidating, right? I say, you walk up to him, you say, hey, Ken, watch him change. He's like a really cool guy. Yeah. You know, but people are a little bit afraid of his demeanor. Yeah. But once you say a word, immediately you realize, oh, shit, that's just his demeanor. He's a really great guy.
Did you ever fight Ken?
Yeah, I fought him twice. That's the only one I couldn't get the white page on my black page. That was the last loss was against Ken with the knee bar. And then when he came to Pride, I said that I was going to come out of retirement for him. And then Ken didn't want to take the fight. So
you fought both Frank and
Frank. Yeah.
I remember seeing your fights with Frank, but I never saw your fight with Ken.
That was all the way in the beginning when I had no ground yet. But you know, again, it made me lose, and that's why I learned the ground game, and then I never lost again. I didn't lose in my last 22, so that's a nice way to wrap up a career, you know.
Yeah, you know the crazy thing. I was in Japan with my friend Taka. And he brought Pancrase, and Pancrase originally started. It was pro wrestling, mixed with fighting. And that's why you can grab the rope. So how you feel about it now? It's in a cage. It's like
it's the same as everybody. I liked it, but 2 months when I left, they did the same rules. It was almost like they were waiting for me to leave. And I go, now get close your fist and then we'll freaking shit shoes. These guys are so good with leg locks. You're hardest to escape a leg lock with a shoe. I mean, it's like Sambo, you know, it's very hard. So it looked like they were waiting for it. And now they have the same rules, but we were talking about, I think the Pancrase time there should be an organization like that who brings back the rope escapes. And only for the reason, whatever you want to call it, to get people ready for a fight, because you just fight way more. Your strategy is completely different. If I want to go for a submission, I drag you to the center of the ring, that's cool. But if I lose the submission, he gets on top, now the rope is not close by. So you start thinking different, more strategically. And I think that really helped the fighters. Like I said, sometimes, I already mentioned on this show, like I had 15 submission victories, but I have 43. You see, but that was because of the rope escape. But you're back on your feet again, and let's go again. So that's what I liked about it. And yes, don't say then, this is the same as mixed martial arts right now, but it's a really good precursor to do it. Yeah. To get more ring time and get used to the fighting game and then go freaking pro or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense, because a lot of people that go pro, they don't even have amateur fights now, and they have no ring time.
Yeah.
And then their fights are 1 minute, they got submitted, and it's like, okay, well, when he's going to get another shot to get back in the ring? And it's like, you don't really get to see these guys brawl either.
Yep.
It's a lot of unique strategy now, like the organizations, like we talked about. What's the relationship with you and an NFL linebacker? We heard something happen.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Is this true?
It's true. But I already gave him that whole thing. When I told that story on the Best Damn Sports Show period, I thought everybody knew this story. It was Urlacher, right? And his brother started the whole thing. He just came up for his brother. He just came in because his brother wanted to fight. There was a fundraiser. I toned him down to him. I stepped on his toes. Come on, relax, dude. And I wanted to give him a beer, and he kept going. I said, okay, listen, normally I would have knocked you out already, dude. I mean, we're at a fundraiser right now. Now you got to shut up. And they're big guys. And then Urlacher, but I'm with his brother. So he just, you want to go outside? So yeah. So, they were like, okay, why is he laughing? And then the bouncer said, no, don't go outside with that guy. So they stopped the whole thing. So then it was over. But it was not him. And it was so bad because the next day he got ripped a new one online on the forums. And I go, it wasn't him. It was his freaking brother who started the whole thing. So
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a pretty viral content piece, but I never really saw any video from it, so I didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah.
So it's good to finally clear that up.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like when you was fighting, you was in your heyday. It wasn't like social media and stuff like that. So a lot of people, you walk around, they don't know that you're a fighter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that can happen. That can happen quite often.
Quite often, yeah. People have no clue. Now a lot of people think I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I go, listen. If I can live from the money I make in acting, then I'm an actor. But I can't. I'm gonna live on the street.
You went straight into acting after the UFC? Is that what you did?
I did right away. But I came before the UFC. So I was in '97. I arrived here, and within 3 months, I was at the Beverly Hills Playhouse taking acting classes because I knew eventually my career was gonna stop, and I wanted to do something in movie, whether it was fight choreography or something. I wasn't really thinking about acting, but I figured, if I'm going on stage, getting used to this whole stuff, then maybe it's a good thing to do. So I just started doing it.
Yeah.
He was in the movie, and I recognized his voice. He played the voice of an animal, a wolf.
The wolf.
I'm like, that's Bas Rutten. And I had no idea. No, I was watching the movie. I had no idea he was in the movie. And he was a voice. I said, that's Bas Rutten. It fucked with me. I had forgot that he'd been doing movies and shit. Then I listened to her, and I sit there and I watch the whole movie. I was like, oh man, it was like cool. I get to hear my friend. Like
it's
years
nice,
I've
right?
seen it.
Yeah. It's funny because just from the voice too, like even the staff here when you walked in, they were like, oh, he's in that movie. Here comes a boom. And I was like, no, bro, he'll also kill you.
That's that movie.
Yeah, I was like, he's not an actor.
Boom.
He's the real life. This is really him. Like, because some people, they're like he said, they're like young. They don't understand that. He's not like portraying an actor. Like he really was a fighter. He will kill you if you just like don't be quiet. Like when he walked in, everybody's like, oh my God, that's him. I'm like, yeah, bro, but he actually will kill you. So relax. Like,
I'm sure that's going to happen to me in a couple of years. Like when I'm not out there. People not recognize me from fighting no more. I'm sure some young bucks are going to try me one day.
Oh, 100%. That will always keep going. I had a guy in my street. So first, we have an HOA talk about people are racing through our streets. You're only allowed to go 30 miles an hour. So this one guy saying that tears in his eyes. They killed 3 dogs already that year, and he's tears in his eyes because his dog died. And I go, so that's loaded up on my computer. So the next day I'm walking there with my wife and our dogs, and this guy comes around, I go, dude, slow down. That's the only thing I do. Right? He's flipping me off. I go, dude, what is it? Hits brakes, a freaking roided guy. What old man? What old man? I go, old man, you're putting a dagger in my heart, buddy. And he goes, you want to dance? I go, yes, please. And he's looking at me and he goes like, "What's going? Oh, you don't have any balls," she said. And he drives away. I go, "You're the one who's driving away." Now he hits the brakes and he gets out. So he gets out and I start walking right away to him, but I'm laughing, right? So and I see the look on his face and my freaking 100-pound little daughter comes out. And I have it on video, it's hilarious. Unfortunately, there's no sound. "Get the hell back in your car." And the guy's looking at her, she's looking at me, and he gets in his car, and he's going again. This family's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they already knew.
She just saved his ass.
I don't want to watch my dad kill you. I don't want to watch my dad kill you.
What she said to me. She said, "Dad, I just don't want the guy to get hurt. I need to do that." Yeah.
I mean, it's true though. Like you're the way you guys fought and the way you guys are. You guys come from a different generation of like, yeah, let's get down. It's cool. I'm ready right now.
It's just a fight.
You're kind of the same way though, bro.
Everything is good. You know, there's no weapons, no nothing. You know, just like in Ireland. That's why I would love to go to Ireland, right? If you get in a freaking bar fight there, you just fight. You go back, drink a beer with the guy. You know,
for real?
Yeah, that's how it feels. But everywhere else is freaking stabbing. They can wait for you with a baseball bat, though. All insecure. They're all fake. All weak people, weak-minded, and that's why they need a weapon. If you can't fight, don't pick a fight.
Right.
Easy.
That's it. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to go to Kobe Bryant. "Hey, you want to shoot some hoops, dude? Hey, put some money down." Guess who's going to win that?
It would never have happened. Yeah,
I know. It's the weirdest thing.
It's basic common sense. But nowadays, I don't know how to fight. I'm gonna pick, and then I'm gonna shoot you. It's like,
or they see a movie, a Rocky movie. They think they can fight because they watch the movie. This is how. How many people did tell you like, "Oh, Stallone should be a professional boxer"?
I go,
"He's an actor."
He's an actor.
I go, "No, but you look at him box." I go, "What? I don't even talk anymore."
How many boxing gyms have you been in? Stallone's posters up there.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere. I was like, I don't get it. You would think that boxers would. Yeah, you would think that boxers look up to him too. Yeah. Some of them do.
It's the Rocky belt.
But you know, I gotta say, because the things that he said, you know, and the way there's a lot of like David Goggins, you know, the reason why he started was freaking Rocky, you know,
was it?
Ding, 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 when the bell, da, 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 you know, and the freaking training, and then he saw a SEAL commercial, and that's how he got his life all together. But it's so he inspired a lot of people.
It does though,
and he talked to real boxers, you know that.
Yeah,
you know, when he was talking about to his son, he was talking about the fact that he says, "Are you never afraid in the ring?" And I don't know if that's with you, but it's exactly with me what he said. He says, "Yeah, there's moments that you want to give up." He says, "But then there's always that other voice." And he says, "No, let's go a little extra. Let's try it extra." And it's literally like that. And there's one with me, he goes like, "Kick him now, kick him now, kick him back, kick him." And he's like this. And the other one is, "That takes you back. Step it back. Just relax. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." And listen to that guy. I always say, don't listen to this guy. And that, when he said that, I go, 100% sure he talked to a professional fighter who told him that.
100%. Because how would you know that if you never had a
exactly.
fight?
Yeah.
Because that's something that we don't talk about a lot. I want to ask you a question. Like, I know that I'm a different person when I fight, so I can't remember what's going through my mind a lot of time when I'm fighting. But when I'm walking out there, sometimes later on in my career, I was thinking, why am I doing this again? Have you ever thought about that, like as you were walking out?
I used to have that the first few fights in the dressing room. I would go, why am I doing this? You know, but then, you know, you need to man up, right? So I always say, without fear, there is no courage, right? So you need that in order to be courageous. And then to still do it. It's like they have some fighters who are crying before a fight. You know who I'm talking about. There's a bunch of these guys. But they still fight. And then they go, "Oh, they're weak." I say, actually, they're very freaking strong because they're crying. They're so afraid, but they still do it. So that is way more commendable than me already don't caring and going. You see? That is real courage. Yeah. So, and every person who says, "I'm not afraid," it's like, all the way back. It was George St. Pierre's fourth fight. That was the time when Dwayne Ludwig won the world title and he knocked out Jens Pulver. And George was on that card. And then afterwards, I saw George fight, or the third fight or something of the night, because he was just a beginning fighter. And he was walking backstage. I said, "Hey, excuse me." I said, "What's your name again?" He goes, "George." I said, "Come over. Can I talk to you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "You're going to be a world champion." And he goes, "You mean that?" I said, "No, I know that. Well, no, but I think you're going to be the next world champion." He goes, "Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that." He said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Sure." He says, "How is it that you don't get afraid?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, you're never afraid." They go, "Everybody's afraid." Yeah, I said, we all are afraid. We just control the nerves in such a way that, you talk to yourself certain ways. I would focus on the bell because I know that if the bell goes, it goes, and then I'm completely in the zone, So if nerves would come, I would just say, "Hey, when the bell goes, oh yeah, true." And I would just always trust that. and then it was okay. But the person who doesn't have fear, I think he's not going to be a winner. I think you need a little fear to be on your toes for your reflexes.
Yeah.
But of course, overdoing it is always wrong.
The more nervous you get, the faster you are and everything, the more adrenaline you get. That's why I used to hate fighting people who was really scared. Like when I fought with Charles Evans, he was really afraid, but he had more adrenaline than me.
Yeah.
By that time in my career, what I was mostly afraid of was getting embarrassed, getting knocked out and being embarrassed. Because the little thing about me I don't talk about much is that I never really cared that much about myself. Because the way I grew up, with my family, how my family treated me and stuff. So I didn't care if I went out there and got my ass kicked and stuff like that. I didn't care if something hurt me at the time, stuff like that. That's why I fought the way I did. And that's why like Van Lake said, if it can knee me in the face like fucking 14 times, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I'm more afraid of being embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's what I was more afraid of. And I felt like if they didn't have a knife or a gun in that ring, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can deal with everything else. But embarrassing me and stuff that because you go back and people make fun of you like to your face, like my family members and shit. Like when I said I got knocked out, one of my cousins called me up making fun of me when I was hanging on the ropes that one time. It's just that's the shit that I was afraid of. But
then the next party is like, hey, boom. I would do that. I go, hey, now you're hanging over the rope. I mean, unbelievable.
I wanted to.
You see that you got great control because at that time in my life, I'll do that.
I feel like sometimes my little brother and sometimes my cousins, I think they get up under my skin so I can't beat them up.
Was the little brother who was the fighter too? Was the womanizer or whatever you remember in Thailand? Was that the one?
What?
You brought him to Japan a few times?
I brought my little brother. I brought him one time.
Yeah, one time. We were laughing about something because it was like he thought he could box also.
Oh no, that's my cousin. I didn't bring it. Yeah. That's my cousin. He's the one that named me Rampage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was always like he was the boxer.
Like he tried to coach me. I talked to him the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, when you come back to Memphis, I want to train you." Because he talks
Your
like
cousin wants to train you.
Yeah, he had one fight. He fought this guy named Grady Fink, and he kept talking like he was a good fighter, like he could fight. He kicked my ass when I was a kid. He knew how to street fight, and I was like, all right, come on. It's an amateur fight coming up and sign you up. He said, all right, I'm gonna go do it. I thought he was bullshit. Yeah. He went and did it, and then I went and talked to this guy that was fighting him. I said, hey, this is my cousin. He talks a lot of shit. He might not be there all mentally. I said, just have your fun with him. Don't just go and submit. I know you're a jiu-jitsu guy. He don't know nothing. Just go out there and kick his ass. Just, you know what I'm saying? Don't kill him. And he went out there and submitted my cousin right away. Okay. And I was like, why you do that? He said, oh, I thought you was bullshitting me. I thought you trying to, get your cousin to kick my ass. He didn't tell me. I said, no, man, I was being real. But for my cousin's credit though, he went out there and went straight to him to go fight and got taken down and got his ass kicked. He didn't fight like no bitch, but he just didn't know jiu-jitsu.
That's it. Yeah.
But he thinks, did it. Yeah, but that's crazy. You remember that?
Yeah.
He thinks he know.
You brought him to Japan with you?
Yeah, he was acting like he was.
I don't think I brought him. No, I didn't bring him to Japan. Yeah. He probably.
No, we saw him here somewhere.
Yeah, he saw him in LA. I came up. I think I brought him up there to LA or something one time. But yeah, he acts like he the man. Like he knows everything.
Yeah. They give him one fight.
Yeah, one fight. The most embarrassing thing he ever did to me, when I went back home to Memphis and we went to a strip club. This is why I like strip clubs. It's part of my family's culture. We I guess we tricks. No, we just like strip clubs. That's something that we do. And we went to a strip club and I go to the bathroom to go pee. And my cousin come in behind me, and now I'm at the urinal, and it's me, my cousin, and some other dude that I don't know. He don't know me. No, I don't think the guy recognized that I was a fighter or nothing like that. And he was like, "You got to use your legs, cuz. You got to use your legs." I'm like, "Man, what are you talking about?" And he started kicking me while I'm trying to piss. He started kicking me, "Use your legs." And then the other guy look at me all weird, like,
"Yeah, you're pissing all over the place."
So I'm like what is this guy thinking? That's the most embarrassing thing. He's like, he didn't say nothing about fighting or nothing like that. You got to use your legs. And we in a men's room in a strip club. And he's talking about you got to use your legs. I was like, is this guy thinking this is my boyfriend? I got to use my legs.
Yeah, like, I'm done. I'm out.
The power of Christ compels you.
That was the most embarrassing thing, bro. He thinks he know. I love him though. He's a good guy.
Good guy.
Hey, he gave me the name Rampage. Rampage.
That's it, and it's still here.
Yeah, it's still here.
Making
Yeah.
Rampage, man.
It's crazy.
Listen,
awesome.
as we wrap this up, boss, it's been amazing. I want to end with just one thing, though, because I know it's a big moment right now for you and what you're doing in the sport of MMA. You have guys like Wonder Boy involved, Machida. You see GSP in the commercials. We see you everywhere. Karate Combat. It's taking MMA by storm right now. These events are phenomenal. We even heard a little story when they were talking about Karate Combat that Boss helped Grand Theft Auto invent the force and the punches in the video game.
Oh, you did that?
So we're hearing a lot about this. So break it down with us as we wrap up this podcast.
So Karate Combat, they contacted me like 5 years ago. They said, hey, we're a karate organization. We want to go full contact, so no more punch karate. And I go, you want to be involved? Sign me up. I mean, I started with karate, then I have a whole career going back to karate. Freaking awesome. So now I was there, literally saw the evolution of these fighters who are point karate guys. So some of these guys, they would score a point like in the fight. Yeah! They would stand still and the other guy goes, dong, dong, keeps on going. You go, oh shit, I got to keep on going. So everybody started cross-training. But we're talking about Olympic level karatekas. And they started cross-training. So now we have like freaking machines. We have really good ones. A fight that put us on the map, like I'm a huge Raymond Daniels fan. I think he's an incredible striker. He was going to face a 42-year-old Rafael Agaev, who's considered the GOAT of karate. And if I had to bet my house, I would put it, of course, on Raymond Daniels. But Agaev beat him. And that fight, because that was pure karate, was his third full contact match. But we're talking about 5 world titles, 11 European titles. The guy's good. But he beat him. And that put us on the map. That was suddenly, whoa, these karate guys, they actually can fight. And then it started. We had Pettis and Benson Henderson in the last show in Vegas. I mean, the whole alumni from the UFC was there. I mean, it was the most insane thing. The rules are great. It's we have now. There's also a 5-second, but it's changed. A 5-second rule, so you can take down and can rain down punches for 5 seconds. We stopped doing that and we say, no, we can't do it unlimited until... So he better improve his position, lock his opponent up to make him stop. Otherwise, you can just keep on hitting it. He just cannot be on his knees. He's got to be on his feet, and constantly hitting.
Can you submit?
Just punches.
Oh, so
just punches.
So it's not MMA?
No, not MMA. It's striking with takedowns, with a ground and pound. And then you have the walls, the 45-degree angle walls that now already fighters are using, and especially guys like Raymond Daniels, they're running it up. I was already a guy who picked somebody up with a double leg, had him on his neck, ran up the wall first to get more height, and then dropping him. You see, so
it's evolving.
It's evolving, man. It's really cool to see these guys really using the pit, as we call it right now.
It's on pay-per-view?
It's free. It's on karate.com. Go there. I still asked them. They never told me what they paid for that domain name.
Man, they paid a lot for that.
And it had to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
And go there. They have also a currency, a karate token, and this is badass, man. And it's already growing. I tell everybody, if you're smart, just buy for $100 or $200. It's like crypto. The guy who's behind it's one of the biggest crypto guys in the world. Mm-hmm. He made this whole system. It's up gaming only. It's what they call it. So you cannot lose. Mm-hmm. So you can bet. If you lose, you don't lose your money. If you win, you make money. Well, how's that possible?
How is that possible?
Because the Karate Combat takes that for the first 2 years. They will take the loss. They just want interaction, and this is the greatest thing. You get 90% of the fighter money of what you bet, and 10% goes to the fighter you bet on. So now the fighter's going to make more money as well. And I think we already like 80,000 people are betting with money. So and you see it's already jumped big time a bunch of times.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
I love
cool because now people can actually get a little bit of money when. The sport organization is getting bet on.
Yep. Yeah. And especially when the longer that keep growing.
So how's George St. Pierre involved and Wonder Boy?
Well, George, they want to get like Steven Seagal and guys like that. I go, guys, you're going to have a problem with that. They're going to be very hard to work with. I said, why don't you? Lyoto Machida, GSP, those are the guys you want. Yeah, we tried GSP for a long time and we cannot get him, nobody's reacting. I go, let me write him a text. Say, hey, George, I'm in with Karate Combat, they would love to have you. I say, oh, text and phone goes, George. Oh man, I love that show. I don't even want to get paid. I'm so good, so happy. Of course they pay him, but I say, see, you should have asked me sooner because now we got freaking GSP. Then we got also, and it's a pleasure to work with these karate guys. They're so respectful. Lyoto and Stephen Wonderboy and his father Ray and all these. They're such a good people. And with George too. It's a pleasure, man. It's a real fun booth that we have the whole time. George Palmer, he's the color guy. It's going great. Robin Black is breaking down all the fighters. She's doing a phenomenal job. Leila Anna Lee, the wife from Ian Gary, she's also the host of this show.
Whoa. Ian Gary's wife?
Yeah.
She's involved?
She's, for a long time already, the last 3 years.
I might have to come over there then.
Alex Wendling, it's getting really big. I'm forgetting names, but I'm sorry, guys, if you forget you. But yeah, you really want to check it out.
Yeah, we see it
it's
taking
free.
off. We see it taking off, and obviously you're legitimizing it by being there because you're putting your stamp of approval on it. But it seems like it's going to be a huge competitor in the MMA space in terms of tickets and gates and pay-per-views. I think it could do damage.
It's the only one.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's karate, full contact karate. There's no other league in the world. It's like the UFC when they started. It's such a great name on branding. Like it's like Kleenex, right? A lot of people they say, "Oh, give me a Kleenex." Well, that's not the brand. That's the brand. It's not the Kleenex. But the UFC, how many people say to you, "Oh, do you do that UFC fighting?" No, it's mixed martial arts. But they did such a great way of doing that, and that's what we have.
I hate that.
Yeah, because they don't understand it. Yeah. But we have that with karate now. You know, it's karate.com.
Yeah. That's good though. That you guys doing good for karate because you know, me growing up being a MMA fighter and stuff like that, I kind of lost my respect for karate until I fought Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
I gained respect then because I had to train against karate guys, and then watching this show right here because those guys are the real deal.
Yeah.
But I want to see some of the stuff from Karate Kid, like when they were breaking the ice. Would you guys?
Oh yeah.
Would you guys do that stuff?
It will come.
It will come?
Because we got a great, we got this new president, Asim. He's doing a phenomenal job. He knows everybody. I mean, you should have seen who was at the Vegas event. I mean, every freaking TikTok or whatever, everybody was there.
Yeah.
It was a really good show. So he's making really good connections. We're going to go overseas. Dubai is already. We go to Mexico next month. It's like, and there's a bunch of other countries that I don't want to mention because I don't know if I can, but we're going to go around the world.
When they say you go to Vegas, hey, let's try to go. Let's try to go to
We're for
Vegas.
sure going to go to Vegas. We'll do a live podcast from there. We'll interview a bunch of the fighters,
That will be
help
cool.
them with media, bring a bunch of staff with us. We have a
check it
huge fight team. We can bring a bunch of our influencers and content and all of our fighters with us. I think that'll be awesome.
Because you guys growing really fast, huh?
It's going fast now, yeah. It's really cool. I'm the chairman of the company right now.
You are.
You
I
the
just
chairman?
saw him sign a contract right outside.
Yeah. Oh, that's to get more people. That you're probably going to go to China and to see it, to get in there,
Yeah.
get our fingers in there.
I just saw him
have
sign a
events
little
over
karate
there.
contract out
So,
here.
so now that you're busy with your O2 and your karate, did you put your other thing on the back burner? What you call it?
The body action system, the punching and kicking device. It's we're still doing it. It's still going good. I shot the promos for that. You can only shoot so many promos, right? So the main focus is the O2 trainer now. The main focus is karate combat, and I do public speaking also for the faith. I do, but also many times it just leaves the faith out. But it's all based. The principles are based because there's always people going, "Oh, but I don't believe." I say you don't need to believe to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just be a good person. If you can't say no to a third drink, you have a problem. Don't think you're a cool guy. You're actually a weak guy. Because that's how I talk to myself. Once I found out when I got back and I realized that I was a slave to all the things that I was a slave to, I realized I'm the opposite of what I thought. I always thought I was a tough guy. I need my AC on this. I need my this. I need my that, And that's the 90 days I'm doing now. You cut everything off. And that gives you a whole new... You're quiet, relax. Now, instead of watching TV, I learn something. I learn about whatever. I'm getting books, maybe start learning another language,
Damn, Bas Rutten just made me realize I'm still a slave. I'm a slave to my video games, to my phone.
But you see, the guy who can say, "Hey, today I'm going to be an hour on there." You go on social media, yeah. Why don't you do 45 minutes? Why do you need to be 3 hours on there? Yeah. It's hard, because I post sometimes for my work, and I'm not allowed to be on it. And I see one post, I go do it, and suddenly I go 4 posts, I go, "Shit, I'm doing it."
It's like, addictive.
It's addictive.
Yeah. It's crazy. They designed it that way, though.
Yeah.
Read the book, Stolen Focus from Johan Hari. That's a book. It's a best-selling book. It will tell you exactly what they're doing. All these people who invented endless scrolling, they think it's the devil. They got out. They feel like they're going to hell right now. Their kids, none of them was allowed to get on the phone. They all have to spay it outside. All the things that we do, their kids are not allowed to do it. That should tell you to stop doing that crap, because we're all addicted to this thing. Everything needs to be on here. Dating. Right? You break up, you start dating, you do everything on the freaking thing, and everybody's sending pictures, sex. That's another addiction. Yeah, but I like it. Well, there's guys out there masturbating 15, 20 times a day.
That's a problem.
That's it, right? That's a problem. What if you're on the flight? Well, but you see what I mean? Everything that overcomes a man, to that he is enslaved. That's what it says, right? So that's the only thing I want to be. I want to be a guy who's in control.
I love it.
Of myself.
I love it. Listen, this was one of the most exciting just, you know, the talks and the stories and listening to you guys talk. I'm excited that we got to put this on camera. It needed to be told. It needed to be seen. I feel like the audience is going to love this.
I only got 5%, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More is coming. More is coming.
We left a lot. We left a lot of stuff off. It's stories that I wouldn't dare tell on air.
Yeah,
but it's not this bad, but just like I was debating on telling that one story when I used to date that girl, my first Japanese girl.
Oh, the very first one. Oh, geez. Yeah.
I don't want to.
No, because people judge you on what you did wrong.
No, because it's something I did, not because of you. It's something.
No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's something. That I did. You're never going to hear them. You're never going to hear them. It's really funny though. But you're never going to hear it because people judge me, not him.
Got it.
But mind you, I was 22 years old.
But people should understand. You know, the thing that, for instance, what's her name again? For Johnny Cash, she played his wife, the blonde.
She's an actress.
Yeah, big name actress. She got it will pop up in a second. Drunk drive, she got caught.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And then she said, and she tries to get out of it. What do you if you try to get out of it? She says, hey, do you know who I am? Right? Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the hate she gets from people, I go, she's drunk. She just, did you try to go in a club? If it doesn't work, say, hey, man, I'm a fighter, you know. If we're drunk, we do that stupid stuff. I remember the days that I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, oh, no, please, no. And I would go out to my hotel room, knock on the door from my corner, and I look at him, I go, tell me I didn't do it. He says, oh, you did it. I go, no! And then I would go back, and then I was the dumbass. Oh, you know who I am? Why can't I come in? But you're drunk. Let them be. They're drunk. She's drunk. Don't judge her on that one thing. It's amazing how people are.
Yeah, you're right.
The judgment of today's time is a lot different, though, once again, because social media, people are quick to their opinion. Everybody's got an opinion of everybody's life except their own.
Yeah.
But that's it. And if they do to them, yeah.
So before we wrap up, I just want to confirm, though, it is true that you were the body double for Grand Theft Auto. You helped them create the force of the punches and the movement and the carjacking scenes.
We were the first ones to do that because I saw a mistake. Because if you see people hitting they would hit the air with their motion capture balls, right? Mm-hmm. And they would hit the air, but you see that it goes. It's not really fighting. I go to them. I go, dude, if I hit something solid, that will be. That will look much better. Trust me. He says, nah, we never did it like that. I say, I brought Thai pads especially for this. You want me to show it? I said, okay. So they went up and they looked on the page. I said, I'll do it in the air. I said, now I'm going to hit something. And dude, they were screaming, whoa! And now everybody's doing it because nobody ever did that before. So we started, I think, Amir Peretz, actually, you know him as well. He's like a freaking Navy SEAL from Israel. Just Google the guy. He took a gun away in 200ths of a second. Like when I met him, it was in a club, and he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm living here now." He said, "Oh, you have classes?" I said, "Yes, I do at the Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club." He came to watch. After the class, he goes, "Dude, that was insane. I'm going to sign up, and can I show you what I do?" I go, "Sure." So he grabs his bag and he pulls out a plastic knife. And I go, yeah, I'm good. You know? I don't need to do this, because it's always the same, the stupid stuff. And I didn't know the guy. I was judging, stupid, assuming. And then he says, okay, he walks back to his bag and he grabs a pellet gun. And he loads the pellet gun and he gives it to me. He says, why don't you shoot me if you see me move? And I go, excuse me. He says, point the gun at me. Don't shoot me right away. But if you see me move, you can shoot me. And my whole class is there. And I go, okay. I think that 5 or 6 times was zero chance I had. It goes literally like, and the gun is out of your hand. He got punched in front of the face and he's got your gun. And then, so I start doing these crazy things, the kicking techniques for sports science, right? When I kick the crash test dummy and measuring impact, the street fighting, and all these crazy cool things.
Yeah.
And they ask me, hey, are you good with weapons? I go, yeah, I can, but say you don't want me. I say, you want a buddy of mine for that. What do you mean? I said, trust me, you're going to freak out. So I brought him over. And I knew that he was going to start at 1 o'clock. And I think like 1:45, got a phone, and it's the producer. And I'm picking up and I say, he's freaking you out, isn't he? He goes, where the hell did you get this guy? So in 200ths of a second, faster than the brain can react. You see him literally disarming a guy. He hits him, boof. Then he starts to disarm the gun. Then you see the bullet go out. And he already hit the guy, and then he's got the gun. So that guy is the real deal. He would spar with kicks to the balls. They include everything, yeah. And nobody gets kicked in the balls. You know why? because nobody likes to get kicked in the balls. And you start reading your opponent's leg, the length, you know, and you get better at that. That's the same thing that I always say. I have a very open stance, but it gives me a lot of power on my left and my left side, almost equal power as my right. The only downside is I'm an open target. But because I know my defenses are much better there. I never went out to the body. Every fighter who fights like never went out to the body. But that's what the boxing coaches say. I said, but now let's talk about the pluses you got. Dude, it's endless. I mean, I can counter everything you. Till this day, I'm very proud of this. I still own the highest striking accuracy in MMA, in entire MMA. You can look it up. It's the UFC, when they got in the Hall of Fame, they did the statistics. Like high, but it's the way I fight. Everybody can do this. If Sean O'Malley's going to do it because he's so freaking accurate, he's going to pulverize me if he would do that. But if you stand in one line, you can check low kicks, you can count, you can do it. Here, I just lean into it. My counters are right there. So it makes everything. Tyson would fight like that.
Yeah.
He never went down to the body, right? He's wide open, but dude, he can hit left and right. And I just adapted that game plan to boxing, to kickboxing, and I go, dude, this is way better. Now I get an inside low kick. Oh, you better check it or let me miss better, because it's a very powerful kick, because I can really throw my hips behind it, which you can't if you're blading. It's like a little tabby kick. It doesn't do anything. So a lot of power, lot more destructive, and that's what fighting is, right?
Yeah.
Destruction. We want to destruct the opponent as fast as we can.
I always wanted to do your liver shot, but I never had. I never came up there and trained with you and learn. I want you to show me on him.
I gotta see it outside.
Yeah,
we gotta wrap this up. I gotta see this before he bounces.
I didn't hit him really freaking hard in the head one day. You remember that?
I do remember
The
that.
week before he fought Randleman.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, he hit me one time.
I was drunk. And he's coming. There was a party or something I
It was
had.
a party.
And you were invited.
Yeah, it was your party.
And I tell him, I say, a really good combination is lowering yourself with the cross. Now, if I stay straight, boom, boom, then it doesn't work. If you lower yourself, they go all down and then come with the left hook. And I do it on him, and I hit him full with my left.
He hit me hard as fuck.
Like hard. And I'm standing, and you go, no, I'm good. I go, you're good. I mean, it was hard.
I don't think I have ever been knocked out at that time.
Oh,
I didn't think I could ever get knocked out.
No, because after that, it was a clean shot, and you didn't even know that I was going to hit you. So that's the craziest part. You have even a stronger.
Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget that. But I'm trying to tell you the reason why I didn't get mad at him or nothing like that, because it was payback of a prank I did on him in Japan. I felt like, yeah, boss ain't stupid. He knows his fucking.
Which one?
I was like, hey,
I never did that.
Yeah. You remember when he just said that when Inoki, he let Inoki smack him.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah.
So when I did that prank on him in Japan,
Which prank was it?
I said a little bit about it with Mai. You don't remember that prank. I pranked you really good.
But listen, I would never hit you like that on purpose. I would
How
never.
hard did you hit this guy?
It was hard.
I hit him full. I hit him a hard. Everybody was stopping. And it was
Kevin Randleman was there too.
Dude,
Huh?
it was the most insane thing. No, I don't know.
I thought he was somebody.
It was even before the wedding. Then we got he was the wedding also, and there was also Don Fry came in, and the present was a bottle of tequila, which he drank himself later that night.
Don Fry gave you a bottle of tequila for your wedding, drinking himself.
Dude, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you the prank off air. I
gotta hear this.
This prank was so bad that we can't say that we can't say this on the air.
Listen, hey, I'm Bear Gidio, Rampage Jackson, Bas Rutten, the one and only. Make sure you guys check out the O2 trainer. We'll leave the description in the bio. We also got to make sure we check out his next upcoming karate combat. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Let us know who you guys want to see next. Use podcast 15 for 15% off JAXXON.com. We appreciate you more than anything, and we hope you guys subscribe and share this video. We out.
We out.
Boom. Out.